Trump dismissed reports that there is a shortage of defensive missiles in the U.S. stockpile as a result of the war in Iran.
And we have an unlimited supply, and so we're in great shape. But with that being said, we always want more. We have to have more. We have other things maybe come up.
The president also signed executive orders that target birthright citizenship after the Supreme Court rejected his bid to end the constitutional guarantee of citizenship to anyone born in the United States. Former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's out of a rehab facility and will continue physical therapy at home. He was last seen on Capitol Hill in June. His office says he suffered a fall at his home and was briefly unconscious. Investigators in Washington say the man in custody charged with starting last week's devastating fires in Spokane admitted to starting at least 25 fires between July 4th and August 11th. This is ABC News. The FDA approved a new kind of flu vaccine for older people. Moderna's is the first made with mRNA technology, and data showed it to be 27% more effective than a conventional flu shot. It's intended for adults 50 and older. Meta is the latest company to say that one of its AI agents broke past guardrails and targeted another company. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Meta says it was a misconfiguration, is how they put it, by an independent company that does cybersecurity evaluations for Meta. And they say they inadvertently gave Meta's models access to the internet during this test, that normally it is enclosed and they don't have that access. That model was then able to get online and exploit a security flaw in another company, get in and manipulate some things.
The jackpot for the Powerball next drawing Saturday has soared to $856 million. That's the 8th largest in the game's history. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
Coming up, new court documents reveal a suspected arsonist confession. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, Seattle Sports has our updated. We've got a traffic alert at the Hood Canal Bridge this afternoon. If you have plans to go to that bridge, just erase them right now because you're not moving. Eastbound 104, just before the bridge deck. We're about an hour and a half or so into a stalled semi, blocking that only eastbound lane. And we've got a solid 5-6 mile backups on both sides of the bridge. In fact, westbound 104, you're even backed up way past heading into Port Gamble. So we've just recently begun alternating traffic at the scene, so we're hoping to see these backups move, but I haven't seen that move so much yet. So again, avoid that trip if you can. Everett to Marysville, just over 20 minutes. Typical backups between 526 and 528. Eastbound 526 is packed and leaving the Boeing plant. South 5 into Seattle is just a crawl from Northgate into downtown. We just hit 1 hour from Linwood. Southbound 99, heavy from the zoo to the stadiums. North 5, we're looking at scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. About a half hour to clear this. South 405, we're packed at 520 all the way to the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton is at 45 minutes. That's a 15-minute delay. And down in Tumwater, South 5 at Trosper Road, fire crews are just mopping up this earlier car fire that turned into a brush fire. Tacoma to Olympia, 55 minutes with an 8-mile hefty backup between Lacey and Tumwater. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. Court documents out today reveal a chilling confession by the man accused of starting one of those Spokane wildfires. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery live in studio with the latest.
These are chilling revelations indeed, and according to detectives, Aaron Farinacci told them he spent 2 weeks planning the Old Trails fire, researching wind and humidity conditions to help it spread. He first denied being involved when detectives confronted him near the site of the fire, then blamed it on other known serial arsonists. An hour and a half into an interrogation after being taken into custody, investigators say that's when he started talking. They say he also confessed to setting at least 25 other fires last year, mostly near his apartment building. That includes the Whitney fire. And they've already found evidence linking him to at least 4 of those other fires. Farinacci now faces 5 counts of first-degree arson. Aaron, we are told that he is going to be in court this afternoon. It's not listed online, and no plea has been entered.
All right, thank you, Jillian. Here in Western Washington, we've made it through the worst of the wildfire smoke for now. Scott Sistek with the Emerald City Weather Blog tells Seattle's Morning News winds from the coast are bringing fresher and cooler air.
Once those west winds come in tonight, they kind of hang with us through the weekend into the middle of next week. So the smoke's out of here. It's sunny. It's brief morning clouds and then upper 70s and low 80s for highs. So very pleasant over here.
Those same winds, though, spell trouble for central and eastern Washington, where there's a fire weather watch in effect tomorrow and Saturday. In Seattle, police are asking for the public's help after what they say was a violent hate crime in downtown. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has details.
The attack happened just after 9 p.m. Tuesday night. Two men walking near 8th and Stewart say a stranger threw a bottle with an unknown liquid at them, shouted homophobic and racial slurs, and physically assaulted them. But he didn't get away. Here's SPD Detective Shane Weatherford.
The two men were able to call 911 and they pinned the suspect to the ground until officers arrived.
Police arrested a 40-year-old man and booked him into the King County Jail. If you have any information about this attack, call 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Now to your forecast. Still hazy skies around the Puget Sound region at this hour. That air quality alert has actually now been extended for Pierce, King, and Snohomish counties until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Actually, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, that is. Though we will see air quality improve throughout the day. Highs in the mid-80s. Right now, 82 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go with the John Curley Show. Welcome one and all. How about them Mariners? Birds.
You know, you hope that Dan Wilson getting ejected last night, a little benches clearing.
Yeah.
Air quote brawl, baseball brawl.
Yes.
That wasn't. Would light a fire under the team today. Not so much.
I don't smell the smoke right now.
Not so much. 7-0. 7-love. 7-0.
They still do the thing with the hydro races, right? They
do.
Each other. Do they also do the jerk in the stands contest? That would be section 221, row 5, seat 7.
Okay.
Jerkiest guy at the game.
Is Rye there today?
No, Rye was there yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And here's what happened. Rye with 6 tickets. He asked the guy, "Excuse me, can I ask you a favor? Can you move down one? Because I got 6 here." I can't repeat on the air what the guy said. It's just simple walk up.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, it gets worse.
221, row 5, seat 7. You know who you are. And you had a Tennessee Volunteers hat on.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay, Davey, thank you. Davey.
I feel like he would volunteer to give up his seat.
Just, rim shot. Michael, where are you? Wake up in there. A different rim shot. Nice. New guy, new rim shot.
Yeah.
All right. Whoever wins the presidency, you know what's going to happen? You're going to, half the country is going to hate the person. And the other half is going to like them, hopefully, or close to liking them, or maybe love them. And then what happens is, then you're going to hate the president or love the president, and then you're going to hate whoever it is that voted for the president. See, it all spills down. And the reason is because if you go back to Robert Putnam's book that I quote often, the Bowling Alone book, he says we've lost the third place. The third place is where many of us would congregate and be seated next to somebody or play softball with somebody or bowl with somebody or exchange pleasantries with people. And they might be politically counter to our beliefs. They might have voted for the other guy. But, hey, you got to bowl and pick up the 1-9 split. Or we really need you to crack this home run. We really need you to be able to help with the Boy Scouts and move some boxes from here to there. So it doesn't really matter. I'm connected with you individually in that third place. Putnam saying the third place left about some 60 years ago, and now the void has been filled by politics. And you'll get candidates that will describe the other side as,
you know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that. And he has lifted them up. He has given voice to their websites that used to only have 11,000 people, now have 11 million.
That type of vitriol is not just Hillary Clinton. Here's Trump talking about Charlie Kirk. This is a couple of months ago.
He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Look at that. He's angry at me now.
Ugh. Elise Orlick with the executive director of Fair Vote Washington. Save us from ourselves. And the way you're going to do this, it'd be like, Curly, I don't understand the switch on this, but ranked choice voting is the idea that maybe it's not going to fix the third place, right? The spot where we would sit down and be, sharing a beer with somebody from the other side, but it would at least restructure who gets in, and they wouldn't be as extreme as they are. Is this some hope for the future with ranked choice voting?
I really think it is. And thanks for having me on, John.
Sure.
I mean, like you said, politics is broken. The two parties and powerful interest groups have outsized power. They tell voters that voting for your favorite candidate will result in the other party getting elected. And so voters feel inclined to support the lesser of two evils instead of voting honestly. And in the process, there's all this mudslinging against the other side. And like you said, that bleeds out into our society and lowers the trust that we have with each other.
You're right.
And understandably, part of the result of that is that people check out of politics. On Tuesday, only 25% of people in Washington actually turned out to vote in elections determining some of the biggest issues that we face. If you don't see options that inspire you, or if you don't expect your favorite or your party can win, or if you've been told everyone running is evil and you shouldn't like them, then why would you bother? And the one thing I push back on is, I don't think I'm here to save us. I think we need to save ourselves from this.
Yeah, at least you and I met at Roanoke. I appreciate you going out to Ocean Shores in January. You get credit for that. And you had walked away from the little booth, but there was somebody else standing in there. And I said, explain to me ranked choice voting in 1 minute. And he's like, it's not the first time I've been challenged. And laid it out perfectly. Some people go, and both parties, I think the Democrats are trying to stop it. Republicans don't like it either, because what it does is it all of a sudden takes away the power. It takes away the animosity. So explain to us listening right now how it works. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's simple. Instead of just choosing one candidate on your ballot, you rank them from your favorite to someone you can find acceptable. So if your favorite doesn't win, your vote moves to your second choice and you still have a say in the election. That's it. That's how it works.
Well, the guy at the booth got into a whole pizza thing about toppings and stuff like that. So there's Joe, Mike, and Sharon. So they total up all the votes, and Joe does not have the majority. Say he's at 37% or something. So out he goes, and then my second choice, Mike, so Joe goes away, and then my second choice, there is a second part to it. Why am I not getting this, Elise? Explain, if my first choice doesn't win, my second choice moves up, and then somebody has to get more than 50%, right?
That's right. It is finding a majority winner, which so often, like in our primary elections here in Washington, our primaries are a plurality system. And ranked choice voting could fix that by finding the candidates with the most support.
Yes.
So what happens to your vote is we look at first choice votes. If no one has,
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going. I'm just listening.
If no one has 50% from the first choice votes, then the candidate with the fewest number of first choice votes is eliminated.
Okay.
And if you had ranked them first, now your vote transfers to your second choice candidate.
Got it. Okay. This is working in 2 states right now. Alaska it has it in place, although people are trying to block it in Alaska. And I think there is an initiative that's going on the ballot, I think this year, to try to get rid of it. So I wanted to see because so as soon as you see that, you think, okay, where's the money coming from? Which is interesting. It's coming from Jeffrey Jazz, who I always thought was sort of a libertarian, but according to ChatGPT, he's putting in $600,000 or $700,000 to try to get rid of ranked choice voting in Alaska. But has it worked? Are we getting candidates that are representing at least both sides to some degree?
We are. We're getting. I mean, Alaska is a very independent state.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the rest of the country, voters there tend not to identify with one of the major parties. And the results under ranked choice voting reflect that. And even more so, the governance has changed there so that candidates from each party are working together within the state legislature because they're no longer running under a system where they're tearing each other down the whole time that they're in the public eye.
Right.
And it is on a repeal effort is on the ballot for this year. There have already been attempts to repeal it, and Alaskans have fended those off. So I am really optimistic that Alaskans are going to choose to keep using ranked choice voting beyond this year.
We're speaking with Elise Orlick, Executive Director of Fair Vote Washington. What would it take for it to happen here in the state of Washington?
Yeah, so Seattle voters are going to start using ranked choice voting in the primary next year. So about a year from now, all the city positions are going to have ranked ballots, which means you don't have to worry about vote splitting in the primary. Beyond Seattle, a lot of jurisdictions in the state can't make that choice, even if their voters and their local government want to. The state government actually blocks them from using ranked choice voting locally. So we have a bill in the state legislature. It's a local options bill. We call it the Voices Act, which would give every jurisdiction that option and set some standards while they do so.
Do you think that this is sort of something of a one bright light, a candle in total darkness of animosity that we can at least move towards? Because what we have right now is not working. I was looking at the polling. When Reagan was in there, Democrats were with him 20% to 40% at times during his terms favorably. Clinton had 15 to 40 with Republicans. Bush, after 9/11, had 80%, but we shouldn't have buildings and Americans destroyed and murdered in order to have that, because then he dropped to 20%. Obama started, Republicans were at 40% approval of Obama when he first started, dropping to 10 to 15. And Fetterman in Pennsylvania right now, 77% of Republicans like him, 19% of Democrats do. But those are all outliers, because we're not going to have a Reagan, a Bush, or an Obama again, because they're coming in so divided. I remember I talked to Slade Gordon once, and he said the problem is when they did the redistricting, they're set up in such a way that you don't have to care about anybody else because you're winning with 70%. And when ranked choice voting comes into place, the redistricting part of it kind of goes away in a little bit. Explain that.
It can, if we use ranked choice voting to achieve proportional representation. So this means that instead of just using it to elect a single office winner, like a mayor, we can only have one of them in a city. You might instead elect your city council using proportional ranked choice voting. So you either have larger districts that elect multiple members of the council at the same time, or you have citywide races electing all of them on the same ballot using ranked choice voting. So the experience for the voter is still you rank your candidates. And now, instead of finding who gets 50% of the vote, you lower that threshold mathematically to where only, the set number of people can win. And when you do that, it doesn't matter how you draw those district lines. It is essentially impossible to gerrymander anyone out of representation. And instead of politics being about reaching 50% plus one, and anything over that doesn't matter, I don't need to work for those voters, politicians work to get every single vote that they can.
At least they say that what will happen is candidates will change how they run in order to kind of get around it somehow. What do they mean by that?
I don't know, because for me, one of the benefits of ranked choice voting is that candidates run more positive campaigns. Sometimes they'll actually co-endorse each other and say, if you're ranking them first, you should rank me next. Candidates will do ads together saying that.
Yeah.
And Kathy Giesel, who's in the leadership for the Republican Party in Alaska, she says it changes the way she campaigns, because if she sees a yard sign for her opponent in someone's yard, she still knocks on that door to try and win one of their lower ranked positions on their ballot. Whereas previously, she would not talk to that voter because of that siloing action that we have in politics right now, which is driving us apart.
Yeah, I think what they say is they try to fix it in some way that, get somebody in there they know that's going to get thrown out. They intentionally, the party will get weaker candidates in to sort of force the one at the top. It's a whole lot of work in order to do that. Whatever the problem, and we know the problem is before us, because it's no longer about politics. If you, and I see it all the time when I fly, as soon as they announce, ladies and gentlemen, we have a full flight, so if you'd like to check a bag, you can check a bag. People don't check the bag. So when they're waiting in line, they're pushing strangers out of the way because they know there's a limited supply of overhead. And when the government is having winners and losers, taking from one and giving to another, there's a limited supply. So if it's this fight for me wanting to get something and me not wanting to have something taken from me, and that's just the expanse of government promising to one and taking from somebody else. The limited supply of overhead storage causes us to hate the person standing next to us because we feel somehow they're taking something from us. But if we can get a candidate to represent more than just the hard right or hard left, I think we'll all be better served. So, Elise Orlick, I don't know how long you've been the executive director of Fair Vote in Washington, but please keep it up, okay?
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me on, John.
Thanks for coming on. All right, there we go. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
This makes so much sense to me. It makes so much sense. I don't understand. I mean, is it just the establishment parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, that are threatened by this, and because it could give a third party at least a symbolic vote, if not an actual win?
Because then you divide, because everything's about money. Everything's about money. 6 billion, 60 billion, 50 billion. You want to take all of that. You want to get just one candidate and then pour all the money into that one, and then take that money, pour it into that one candidate, and use part of that to just throw as much crap at the other guy as possible. Once you've got it down to this and that, it's much easier to get people to show up, because you also want the disenfranchised. You want the hard left, the hard right. Here's an example. In the city of Seattle, 25% show up, right?
Yeah.
We're not getting your voice because you decided not to be a part of it, because you become so disenfranchised and that you pox on both their houses. That's exactly what both parties want. They want people not to participate. They want only the hard left and only the hard right, because then there's no compromise needed. So this Seattle, this is what happened here. It happened in New York. You're getting 21% turnout. They're not speaking. They're speaking for only the activists. And then that only fires up the other side and pushes down the people in the middle.
This makes so much sense.
Good, Joe. Good. I'm glad. All right. Who's in there? There's Big Nate, checking traffic for us. Nate, hi.
Yes, sir. This one brought to us by Subaru of Puyallup. We've got a huge traffic alert this afternoon at the Hood Canal Bridge, eastbound 104. Just before the bridge deck, a stalled semi blocks that one and only eastbound lane. We're a couple hours into this, so I'm just assuming we're waiting on a Class C tow right now to move this out of your way. Meanwhile, traffic is alternating at the scene, but it doesn't seem to be helping out our backups at all. In fact, eastbound 104, a solid 6-mile backup starting at State Route 18. Plan on 50 minutes to get through this. The east side of the bridge in northbound 3 has a 6-mile parking lot starting at Pioneer Hill Road, but it's an hour 10 to get through this backup. Westbound 104, a 4-mile backup starting at the south end of Port Gamble Bay. This will make you late for your normal Kingston ferry trip if you're trying to make it. Here in Seattle, South 5, we're crawling from Northgate into downtown. It's 1 hour from Linwood already. Southbound 99, a slightly better route, but it is heavy from the zoo to the stadiums. A little more backups near Harbor Island approaching the west Seattle Bridge. North 5, scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal. South 405 is bumper to bumper from 520 all the way down to the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton's a 45-minute trip. And Seattle to Federal Way's at 40 minutes. South 5 at South 200th. We have a stalled RV partially blocking the on-ramp, and traffic jams up at the scene. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through August 31st, enjoy great financing on select new cars at Subaru Puyallup. Visit SubaruPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud, it's hot.
Join KIRO News Radio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
If you're over 62 and the rising cost of living is putting pressure on your budget, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. I hear from seniors all the time who love their home, want to stay in it, but are worried about how far their money will go. Property taxes are up, insurance is up, monthly bills keep rising, and some of them still have a mortgage payment. A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating that mortgage payment, paying off debts, and giving you more room in your monthly budget. Now, let me say this, it's not right for everyone, but for the right person, it can make a real difference. When you call Best Mortgage, you work directly with me for a free consultation. I'll explain how it works, answer your questions, and tell you honestly whether it fits your needs. If you're 62 or older and want to learn more about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Are you looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, ranging from the low 500s to the high 1 millions, D.R. Horton has the right home at the best value for you. Your new home is within reach, so what are you waiting for? Learn more about the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. Visit drhorton.com and schedule a tour today. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
Our founders believed that freedom wasn't just a word. It was a way of life. The freedom to move forward, the freedom to pursue what matters most, the freedom to live fully. But aging has a way of taking those freedoms away. That's why there's Longevity Medical Clinic. John Curley here. My best move was becoming a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic years ago, and second best move, getting my wife Nicole to join me this year. Stop guessing and start working with a doctor who knows your goals and get personalized care designed around you, not the average patient. Discover what's holding you back and what can help you thrive with longevity. Aging is natural, but some of the effects are undesirable, and you don't want to have to just accept it. So this year, as we celebrate 250 years of freedom, ask yourself a simple question. Are you living with the freedom you deserve? Get real answers about your health and get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Guys, if you have low energy or reduced drive, it could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, start with a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The 37-year-old man accused of intentionally setting one of the wildfires in Spokane may have started many more fires. ABC's Alex Stone has details.
In new court documents, investigators say alleged arsonist Aaron Farinacci said he started planning what would become the Old Trails fire 2 weeks beforehand, that he researched when there would be high wind and low humidity and how to get the greatest spread of the fire, and that he allegedly put a time delay device in a field and watched the fire as it grew. Prosecutors say he admitted to starting at least 25 other fires last year. They say he described fire as powerful and beautiful and that he thought arson would be easy to get away with. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Farinacci was just in court moments ago. Judge now holding him on bail, $2 million bond. The number of destroyed or damaged structures in the wildfires is also on the rise. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin has an update from fire crews on the ground.
That count is actually up to 913 structures at this point this morning. They say that likely, unfortunately, could go up within the next few days and weeks.
And now fire crews are racing against incoming wind set to arrive tomorrow. FAA is ordering inspections of hundreds of Boeing 737 MAX jets after reports of cracks near a galley door opening. The new directive affects about 470 aircraft, including MAX 8 and MAX 9 models, and takes effect September 10th. Federal regulators say the cracks could weaken the plane's structural integrity if left undetected, but they are not grounding the aircraft. FAA says Boeing is making changes to address the issue on newly built planes. A sour sign for our region's tech economy as Facebook's parent company backs out of yet another office building. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery reports.
It's quite the about face as Meta is now giving up a 212,000 square foot office space, offering it as a sublease in Bellevue's Spring District. The company started a rapid expansion in the Northwest back in 2018, pre-leasing one of the first buildings in that new complex, then going on a hiring spree before leasing more space and even buying an entire building. But Meta's metaverse fizzled, and like many other companies, it's shifted its focus to artificial intelligence. Multiple rounds of layoffs later, the company seems to be divesting, offering 3 of its planned 7 buildings in Bellevue for sublease. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
And now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
And it is real busy out there, Aaron. This one brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. We'll start you with our Hood Canal issue. Eastbound 104 just before the bridge deck. A stalled semi blocks your one and only eastbound lane. So traffic is alternating at the scene, and we have 5 to 6 mile hefty backups from either side approaching the bridge. South 5, we're crawling from Northgate into downtown Seattle. It's 1 hour from Linwood. North 5 scattered from the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal. A half hour to get through this. Southbound 405, bumper to bumper from 520 down to the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton at 45 minutes. In Tacoma, we've got a new crash. South 5 just past the Tacoma Dome. It's blocking your right lane. And Tacoma to Olympia, we've improved to 50 minutes, down from an hour our last check. South 5 is packed from Sleater Kinney there, and Lacey down to Trosper Road, where fire crews recently mopped up a car brush fire. Don't miss the biggest event of the year at T-Mobile Park 50 Season Celebration Night on the 8th, presented by Daktronics. Get your tickets at mariners.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Well, still dealing with some moderate to unhealthy air around the region. The Weather Service now extending our air quality alerts. It is in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, but conditions are slowly improving today with the haze. Tomorrow, a sunny afternoon, highs will be in the mid-80s. Right now, 83 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Home Comfort Alliance, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Wow, what a perfect segue for Cliff Mass. Professor of Atmospheric Science at University of Washington. Cliff Mass, at what point do you want to dump on Seattle Times? Do it right now or near the end of the interview?
Well, we'll avoid them completely.
Look at you. What a gentleman you are. All right. As a former weather presenter, because I wasn't allowed to call myself a meteorologist, high pressure system off the coast of Washington is going to start to move east. The winds around that high move clockwise. Lows are counterclockwise. As it moves over, it'll begin to shift the wind, so it'll pick up wind. It'll push it from the east over to the west. What do we expect for the state of Washington coming up tomorrow and over the weekend when it comes to smoke, Cliff?
Well, in the west, it should get much better very quickly. So this time tomorrow, most of the west will be snow-free. Free of all the smoke. So it's very good. It's already starting to happen. So you wake up tomorrow, there'll be blue skies in much of western Washington. Even western Oregon's going to get better. So that's good.
Yes.
So the winds are going to come out of the west.
Okay.
And blow it away.
Okay. Any bad news, Cliff, or did we just say goodbye to you and thank you for wearing that very spiffy shirt?
Yeah. Well, the problem is the east side.
Uh-oh.
And the problem is the winds will pick up from the west. And that's a problem because the winds have been relatively light, so the fires haven't grown very much. Like the fire near Lake Chelan, but the winds will pick up substantially tomorrow and Saturday, especially later in the day, and so those fires might rev up. So that's the issue.
Yeah, as the high moves across and the wind kicks in, I don't know what percentage contained on this fire. But when the winds, how much wind? Do you need 15, 20 miles an hour in order to start to move these things so it's jumping over fire lines? Is there a particular speed the wind needs to move in order to make it that much worse? Obviously, when they're blowing at 40 or something, that's a problem. But just even surface winds or high-level winds, what's the point where they go, this is now a bad speed for us?
Well, I'm not a wildfire expert.
No.
So let's be careful. But I've done a lot of reading about this at work, and generally when the winds get to 15, 20 miles per hour, that's when things start happening.
Yeah.
And certainly when you get to 30 to 40, then it's very, very dangerous. So we are going to get up there. We're going to have winds on the eastern slopes getting up to 30 to 40 miles per hour. So that will happen.
Does the intensity of the heat, does the spots where the fire is burning hottest, does it start to create its own sort of like weather bubble?
It does. In fact, there's a whole area of meteorology where people study that. They actually simulate the effects of the fire on the weather, and it can. Once you get a very intense fire, it can draw air into it. It can change the winds around it. Yes.
Right. Because as the hot air is rising, it's going to create that vacuum, and then the colder or the more air sucks in underneath, like a flume, like a fireplace, and then it just starts burning hotter and hotter. Okay, I know you didn't want to mention the Seattle Times, but I do have to ask. So when I read through the Times and I saw the piece that talking about the big problem is the snowpack. The Times described the poor weather or poor winter snowpack, warm spring, hot, dry summer, pushing the state into a dangerous fire period earlier than expected.
It's nonsense, and it's not supported by observations of the science. But I mean, there's certain components of this last fire event. Number one was lightning, right?
Yeah.
It turns out, and I'm going to be doing a paper on this. It turns out this was one of the greatest lightning events in the history of our region. So we had this massive lightning occurrence. that started these fires. And by the way, is lightning increasing due to global warming? There's been claims of that. The facts show that it's not.
Oh, okay.
So we have the data now to show that lightning is not increasing. So the lightning and these crazy people starting fires, that has nothing to do with climate change. Winds were very important. And there is no indication that the winds descending into eastern Washington will increase. And finally, it's the fuels. What's the moisture level of fuels? It turned out that they were near normal at the time these fires started. So every claim that this has to do with global warming fails if you look at the real data.
Cliff, I'm just started Judith Curry's book, Climate Uncertainty and Risk.
Right.
Should I keep reading this book?
Well, I know Judith Curry very well. I talk
Okay.
to her quite frequently, and she's a good person.
So what she's saying in the book, we'll leave the Seattle Times aside, she says the IPCC, starting in 1989, was basically created by anti-capitalists, and they started pushing hard the climate change stuff, even before 1991, and even before the science gets in place. And Curry points out, after speaking to Rajda Pachari, who ran the IPCC from 2002 to 2015, that he chose only and recruited only climatologists that had already stated that CO2 was the cause of global warming. So I'm on the third chapter, and she's deconstructing this thing, saying it's political starting in the late 80s. And they crowded out anybody else that might have had a scientific opposing point of view. And it was really driven by anti-capitalists.
Well, one thing is clear is they lost objectivity. I think they're starting to move back a little bit very recently, but clearly they were not unbiased in terms of their science. And to give you a good example of this, they made assumptions that CO2 was going to increase exponentially this century. Okay, we have these scenarios,
right?
RCP 8.5,
right?
4.5. That's what we talk about in the field. Well, a lot of the work, 90% of the work at least, was done using these ridiculous, aggressive scenarios of increase of carbon in the atmosphere, and that drove everything.
Yeah,
and that should have been a red flag, but it wasn't.
Yeah, Michael Mann's hockey stick, and then him going to court, and then the thing getting reversed. But pointing out that here it comes, we're going to be within I think what year we're going to be 4 degrees above, and now the IPCC has said, well, that's worst case. We probably won't hit that.
Yeah. They backed off already.
Yes, they have. Yeah. Well, you follow the money. I don't know why the Bullitt Foundation and why Becky and Michael Hughes and Henry M. Jackson Foundation pouring money into the climate lab thing that the Seattle Times, it always seems you can get both sides. You can get the Seattle Times with a climate lab, or you can go and check out Cliff Mass's blogspot.com, which seems to be based on some science, Cliff.
Right. Well, I try to do that.
Okay. All right.
I've been in this business for a while, and I'm trying to give the objective science.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the Seattle Times, is not interested in that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, someone's paying the bills over there. Cliff Mass, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Professor of Atmospheric Science here, University of Washington. I feel like every time I'm auditing his class, I'm trying to get a C+ because I'm sitting right down front. Thanks, Cliff. See you later.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
All right, there he goes. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nate, on, do it.
Global Credit Union with our update. West of Purdy on eastbound 302 and 108th Avenue, we've got a collision blocking that single eastbound lane, and we will most likely have alternating traffic here until we can clear this. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, you're pushing 50 minutes. Nothing's going to surprise you here. We're crowded in the north end, gets heavy south of State Route 18. Seattle to Federal Way, a 35-minute drive. You're slow from Inner Urban Avenue all the way to South 260th now, heading into Federal Way. North 405 in the south end, heavy between South Center and that Renton Landing. South Center to Bellevue, a half-hour drive. Continuing north, Bellevue to Everett, a 1-hour commute. Seattle to Everett, 55 minutes. Everett to Marysville is 25 minutes. It's heavy from 526 to 528. Once you get to Highway 2, this turns into just an absolute parking lot. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Things are so much better at the barn. Not only do we have a place to put everything, but also My wife with her dulcet tones. I can't find anything. I'm like, Nick, calm down. I said probably about 8 or 9 months ago, I said, listen, you want to get some organization? Fine. I'll pay for it. You find a local company that can do the closets. Because again, if you imagine a barn and you're a horse or a pig, you don't have a lot of stuff to store, right? So that's exactly what we had. Just a great big barn, and Closets by Design comes in, and they built an entire row of cabinets in the garage, so everything's put away. All of the closets upstairs now have places for shoes and jackets, and then we've got storage. They did the same thing in the bathrooms with the beautiful closets underneath. And they made sure at Closets by Design that the cabinets that they built, yes, they built cabinets, matched the floor and the woodwork in the laundry room. I was like, oh my God, where do we get the price? Here's the amazing thing. They've been around for 22 years. They're a family-run business. Really easy people to work with. And they can get 40% off, plus 15% off, and 18-month 0% financing on approved credit when paid in full. The only people to call if you're thinking about closets and you need it, and the organization, it's Closets by Design, 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road. Ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best. But I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Keep summer outside where it belongs. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Claim your free quote today, plus 12 months no payments. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Hello, sweltering Seattle. John Curley here. Is your home staying cool? Are you losing sleep because it's just too hot? At Home Comfort Alliance, the goal is not to sell you a new system. It's to fix the one that you have. Repair first, replace only if it truly makes sense, saving you time and money. If your system's done, a heat pump gives you both cooling and heating for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance. I thought we had put a moratorium on Jimothy, the raccoons.
We did, but we found a man named Jimothy.
Oh, so that's okay. So technically, it's not about a raccoon.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not a marsupial. Marsupial, right? Aren't they marsupials?
Yes. Oh,
they're woodland creatures.
yeah, I think so.
Michael, what marsupial or not?
No. We're thinking of what's the other one? My brain.
Yeah. What's happened to you?
You're thinking of a platypus.
No.
No.
The other trash can one.
I'm thinking mythical.
Mythical. Okay,
mythical.
I figured you'd be into. You're a Dungeon Dragon guy. Be honest.
No, not me.
No. Have you ever been involved in
Awesome.
a Renaissance? Okay, we're done. We will hold you. How about a Renaissance fair?
I want to go to one, but I haven't been to
Oh, I knew it. I thought either Dungeon
You
Dragon
found
or
it.
Renaissance fair.
You're thinking of an opossum.
Okay, we've moved on, Nate. What about this guy that's a musician who's also named Jimothy?
This Tacoma man loves to spread the joy of music, but a different sound has been making him smile recently. The stunted tale of Jimothy.
I've embraced the entire story. I think the name itself is what is also propelling the story itself because of its originality.
Maybe you first heard the name Jimothy bandied about by a buffoon.
James, Jimothy. To be fair, Jimothy, that sounds weird.
This church music director is the son of a Jimmy who wanted a namesake, but his mother preferred the name Timothy.
And so they just came together and put those two names together.
He is the embodiment of compromise and harmony, so maybe it's not surprising. While everyone's obsessed with Jimothy's sudden celebrity, this
Not us.
other Jimothy, a loving father of two, sees something deeper.
And it also makes me think about, children and other, people that might have, ailments and different physical disabilities and things like that. So I think that, this story could be one to create a lot of awareness about a lot of topics.
He knows this Jimothy's 15 minutes of fame is almost up. But he hopes the goodwill and acceptance he brought lingers, that the unique name itself carries that power.
My son, 2 years old, who I love more than anything, is also the name Jimothy David Rogers II.
So the legacy lives on.
Nice. You know that Russian woman that was talking about Jimothy? Remember that?
Oh, yes.
I don't know where she is. I don't know. That was that was a big newsmare for a little while. For Sherry coming on. Jimothy, he lives in Tacoma. Okay, good for him. So is there going to be another actual Jimothy? And there was a Jimothy spotted or a raccoon spotted there at the Mariners game. Yeah, that big news. Ever tell you the time I lied to this girl and I told her my name was Timothy? And, yeah, I think of college. And I had built this whole weird personality around it. I had these fake glasses. I was trying to be really artsy. And then I crashed on my roller skates. And then she took me to the hospital. And then found out my name wasn't Timothy. And then she left me there. Oh, my God. I don't believe this. Yeah. Here's more of the. You, by the way, you're having a 3-day course on finding the Jimothy within you. It says on the website, it's a 3-day course. It's $217. And then.
Per day.
Excuse what?
Per day.
Per day?
You'll get that right. Yeah, it's a per day. Yes, it's $217 per day.
That you a black Jimothy mask will be provided for $43.
You got to wear it for 3 days. It's got to be good quality.
I miss her every day. Thank you, Sherry. As Dr. Was your first name?
Karen
Seward. Yes, there she is right there. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nate, on.
All righty, thank you, John. After 3 hours, our disabled semi just cleared at the Hood Canal Bridge on eastbound 104 right there at the bridge deck. So this is what we're left with. 6-mile backup starting at State Route 19, that is. 55 minutes to get through this. The east side of the bridge, northbound 3, has a 7-mile parking lot now extending into Polsbo. It's an hour, 20 minutes to clear this. Westbound 104 has a 4-mile backup starting at the south end of Port Gamble Bay. But this opens up this lane that we've been alternating at for the past hour and a half or so things will slowly start picking up here. Everett to Marysville, a half hour. North 5, you're heavy from 526 to 528. Really jams up there at Highway 2. Bellevue to Everett, 1 hour. Seattle to Everett, closing in at 1 hour, 55 minutes. South 405 is packed from 520 to the VMAC. Bellevue to Renton's at 45 minutes. And again, on the south end, North 405, heavy from South Center to the Renton Landing. South Center to Bellevue is a half-hour drive. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half-heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repairs, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding is underway now. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call Nunn Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The back and forth over the Strait of Hormuz continues as President Trump was asked if there's been a deal reached with Iran to reopen that critical passageway.
Well, I don't want to say it has been. It's sort of open right now. You know, we have a thing called the blockade headed up by the U.S. Navy, and we control it. And now we control it, but they can always shoot something. They always have something or drop a mine.
The president refuted reports that U.S. stockpiles of defensive missiles have dwindled because of the war. More than 7,000 flight delays in the U.S. today, and one factor, an outage at a major air traffic control center in Minneapolis that shut down airspace over a wide swath of the Midwest. That airspace has reopened. The 37-year-old man accused of starting a destructive wildfire last week in Spokane, Washington, was in court. Prosecutors say he described fire as powerful and beautiful and that he planned the fire for months. This is ABC News. Kellogg says it will remove artificial colors from all of its cereals by the end of the year. Last August, the company said it would remove all of those artificial colorings by the end of 2027. But Kellogg says it can move faster because it's identified some fruit and vegetable-based juices that give its cereals their distinctive colors. A video of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket stage crashing into the moon looked cool, but it was a fake.
The impact did occur. An 11-year-old rocket left over from a 2015 mission hit the lunar surface this week after being pushed there by solar activity and gravity. Elon Musk reposted what he said was a clip of that on his social media site X, and it was viewed over 5 million times. However, he followed up 40 minutes later by posting the video was AI generated. That post was only viewed 600,000 times. The original video was made by a far-right media company, which also admitted, but not until later, that the post wasn't real. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Coming up, a chilling confession by the man accused of starting a wildfire in Spokane. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, after 3 hours, that disabled semi at the Hood Canal Bridge on eastbound 104 just recently cleared, like within the last 10 minutes. So we still got hefty backups, about 6-mile backup eastbound 104 approaching the bridge, about 55 minutes to get through this. And then northbound 3 has a 7-mile parking lot coming out of Polsbo all the way to the bridge deck. Hour 20 to get through this. Westbound 104, a 4-mile bumper-to-bumper backup starting at the south end of Port Gamble Bay. Everett to Marysville, a half-hour drive. It's real heavy north 5 between 526 and 528. Everett to Seattle just climbed an hour and a half. An hour 10 just from Linwood, and all of that slowing is from Northgate into I-90. You're just barely moving. Seattle to Everett, an hour 15, heavy from Northgate to State Route 104 in Mountain Lake Terrace, where a collision was just cleared. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 5. We've got a new crash in Kirkland approaching Northeast 70th, blocking your left general purpose lane. And Tacoma to Olympia, we keep on improving from our earlier blocking issue in Tumwater. We're down to 45 minutes to make this trip. It is still heavy South 5 between Olympia and Trosper Road in Tumwater, where fire crews put out an earlier car and brush fire. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio App. Text APP to 888-973-5476 and download the app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. In court today, the man accused of starting the Old Trails fire in Spokane.
Aaron Forrest Farinacci, 1989.
37-year-old Aaron Farinacci there. He did not enter a plea during his arraignments. He faced a judge after court documents are released today showing he confessed to starting one of those fires. KIRO Radio's Jillian Raftery explains.
Detectives now say Aaron Farinacci has not only admitted to setting the Old Trails fire, but 25 others over the last year. In court documents, detectives say Farinacci told them how he spent 2 weeks planning the Old Trails fire, researching a well-known serial arsonist, waiting for ideal conditions, and setting a timed device to go off in a field, then waiting to watch it grow. So far, detectives say they can confirm he's involved in 4 other fires. Farinacci now faces 5 counts of first-degree arson. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
And a judge today increased his bond at $2 million. Meantime, the worst of this week's wildfire smoke around Puget Sound is in the rear view as winds from the coast begin to pull in fresh air. Scott Sistek with the Emerald City Weather Blog tells Seattle's Morning News smoke should remain east of the Cascades in the near term.
At the moment, once we get through this, at least for Western Washington, I think we're okay for a while. I can't say we're okay for the rest of summer, but okay for a while.
But those same conditions that are clearing the skies here could be trouble east of the Cascades, where a fire weather watch takes effect tomorrow. A 40-year-old man is accused of a hate crime in downtown Seattle near 8th Avenue and Stewart Street. SPD Detective Shane Weatherford says a man hurled a bottle with an unknown liquid at 2 men and attacked them on Tuesday night.
The man started calling them homophobic and racial slurs, and then he physically assaulted them.
Victims held the suspect until officers arrived. He was booked in a King County jail. A late-night rescue on the Green River ends safely. Crews were called just before 11 o'clock last night after a man got separated from a tubing group near Whitney Bridge. Using rescue kayaks, cell phone data, and an infrared drone, rescue crews searched that river in complete darkness. They found the man around 1:20 this morning, stranded on a rock, and safely brought him to shore. Now to your forecast. Air quality alert extended for King, Kitsap, Pierce, and Snohomish counties into 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But the weather, the air quality, that is improving for today. And highs in the mid-80s right now. Mid-80s again for tomorrow. Much better air quality for the weekends. Right now, 81 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go with John Curley Show. Muppets Casino Resort text line. Thank you for handling all the text messages. A lot of people are talking about the new way of voting. It's good.
Yes.
By the way, there's an event they've got coming up on Saturday.
Yes, Saturday at the SCIU building downtown.
Yeah, good.
3:30 p.m.
Yeah, random voting. Random. Here we go. Muppets Casino, 1-888-973-5476. Diving into the news. There we go. I've got a lot of cool friends, but I got to put Ryan Cutter right at the top. Not only is he married to a super cool gal, Nina, who is good friends with my wife, but Ryan is a helicopter pilot. And when you don't ain't wearing your helmet. When you put your helmet on, you're so much cooler.
I left it at work this time.
Oh, you did? All right. When fires really get out of hand, like we've got 3 of them going, and I always check in with Ryan to see where he is, somewhere in the country. You're based out of Park City, Utah. How long have you been a firefighter helicopter pilot, Ryan?
I think this is my 12th or 13th season flying fire.
You're based out of Utah, but do they move you around the country at different points of the year?
I live in Utah. My employer's based in Oregon, and then the current contract that I'm on is based out of Price Valley, Idaho, so it's just west of McCall. And I've been there 1 day this season so far. You never know where you're going to go. We left there, went to Minden, Nevada for a month, moved to Coeur d'Alene for a few weeks, and then about 10, 12 days ago, we moved over to Missoula.
What was your background before fighting fires with helicopters?
Flight school, did a little bit of offshore oil rigs in the Gulf, did some news for a little bit, did 7.5 years at Air Medical, and then kind of transitioned over to the fire side of things and some utility work in there as well with a little bit of power line work.
I tell you, I've watched you actually fly over our house there in Cle Elum. You were putting out a fire, I think it was along I-90 or wherever it was. And it seems so effortless. This gigantic helicopter comes in, this bucket drops in, does the dip, sucks back up, and off it goes. But I was reading about how incredibly dangerous it is because, one, you have smoke, which hurts the visibility. The fire itself creates its own weather conditions. There are wires that you have to watch out for, and you've got this giant bucket with this cable that is hanging below. This is an extremely dangerous job.
It can be. I mean, we do a lot of stuff to try and make it as safe as possible. But yeah, there's a lot of variables in it. You never know what you're going to get. That's also kind of what makes it fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we were working out of Missoula last week, and major set of high tension lines ran right through the fire, and we were working right up against them. It's just the way it is sometimes. That was the whole idea, is to protect those lines.
How does that work where if you're flying, the fire's there, the tension lines are going in one direction, you've got this bucket with this, I assume the cable is metal. You certainly don't want to hit that thing. How do you fly up over the lines, drop the bucket over where the fire is? I mean, there must be times where it seems like it's almost impossible mathematically to get to it.
The lines are synthetic.
Okay.
Now. They used to use cable, but they are synthetic now. We're using either 150 or a 200-foot line that hangs below us, and then the bucket's usually another 20 or 25 feet below the end of that line. The usual technique is you cross over the towers, because the tower is going to be the highest point of the wires. You don't want to cross mid-span because you can't see the static lines and other stuff up there. But it's all visual. Everything we do is vertical reference. So you're leaning out the side of the door, looking down to fly the bucket. So think about driving your car for years, and then all of a sudden you got to kick the door open and look down at the white line to do it. And then you got to stay in that line from 200 or 300 feet up. It's definitely a different skill set. It was extremely humbling at first, but now I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing. It's certainly challenging and fun.
Yeah. Speaking with Ryan Cutter, firefighter, helicopter pilot, NTSB says the biggest problem is fatigue. How do they control for something like that?
We have the option with the Forest Service, who we're on contract with. If we're overworked, we can certainly shut it down. But they have stricter rules than the FAA. So we're not allowed to fly more than 36 hours in 6 days. We generally work 12-day shifts. Some work 12 days on, 2 days off. My employer has us doing 12 days on, 12 days off, which is pretty nice. Definitely, if we're busy, come off pretty haggard after 12 days. We're working 13-hour days at the aircraft last shift. So by the time you leave the hotel, get back to the hotel in the evening, which we're lucky enough to stay in a hotel, unlike the firefighters on the ground. 14 plus hour days are not uncommon in there. So now if we do get that 6 and 36, we're forced into a mandatory day off for the Forest Service. So our employer will actually send an extra pilot in. It's also nice in the large aircraft we're in, we're dual pilot. So, and my employer also likes to have dual captain whenever possible. So they're trying to qualify as many people. So we're able to switch seats. One guy will work a couple 2-3 hour fuel cycle, then we'll switch. Next guy will do 2-3. So it's not like we're pulling the full max 8-hour days, which I've done day after day until I've hit that limit in other aircraft before. So
wait, you've been in there for 8 hours?
8 hours is our maximum flight time. Current helicopter holds about 3.5 hours of fuel, so it's not uncommon for us to do a 3-hour fuel cycle out there. Our primary goal with this aircraft we're very unique. There's only 4 of the aircraft I'm flying on contract, 3 of which are actually rappel aircraft. So we're the only heavy helicopters flying firefighters anymore. So we're mostly there for initial attack on new fires. So we will fly out with 9 firefighters, 8 rappellers, and a spotter, get to the new fire, size up the situation, evaluate it, decide the best plan of action, and oftentimes we'll rappel as many as we think we need into there, so up to 8 firefighters plus all their cargo. Kind of like the video you're seeing is one of our guys now. Actually, I inserted these guys. This is me flying about 10 days ago or so on a small fire. It was just about an acre. We rappelled 4 in, left them there. They had some air support that came in, but basically the 4 of them wrapped that fire up in a couple days, and then we went back out, picked them up after they hiked off the hill.
What's it feel like on sort of a personal level? Professionally, of course, you want to get up, get out, get in as safely as possible. But when you're coming in there and you're dumping, I don't know how many gallons of water on top of that stuff, do you realize, whatever the I-90 fire and the wind shifted, of course, you'd be wiping out all sorts of stuff. But when we heard those helicopters clunking in there, it was like, all right, it's like the cavalry coming in. Do you, at the end, if you put these things out, what's that feel like?
We're air assets are just to help. Aircraft don't put the fire out. All we do is slow it down, cool it off, and let the boots on the ground work. So if we could drop water on that fire all day long and nobody's going to put it out until there's actually boots on the ground to do something with that water. So we're just there to kind of assess the boots on the ground, help the firefighters, help them do what needs to be done and buy them some time.
Yeah. We don't want to lose you on this connection, but how many gallons is that big bucket on each one of those pickups and drop down? Because I was trying to figure that out.
So it totally depends. The buckets in those videos is our small bucket that we need to have so that we can put it in the aircraft for the guys, and that's 530 gallons. Our big bucket that comes via truck to wherever we're located is 850 gallons. By comparison, a Chinook's carrying a 2,600 gallon bucket.
When do you get the call? And have you come up to Washington? Do you watch as these fires? There's two of them. There's the Autumn Lane fire that's burned 5,878 acres. The Old Trails, and then I think there's another one in there as well, Fairview, I think, that's got 13% contained, 850 buildings, 67,000 residents or also affected by all of this. When do they call you? And do you keep an eye on all the fires that are sort of going and fully uncontained?
So those large incidents we will occasionally go to and help out, but we're more the initial attack. So when those fires start, we'll go. I think we went to 4 or 5 fires last shift that never went over 2 acres. Nobody ever hears about because we put guys in, we catch them, and that's the end of it. And that's kind of what our crew specializes in. That's why we have the repellers. You kind of pay attention that what goes on, but as soon as that call comes in, it goes to dispatch. Dispatch calls our firefighters, our helicopter manager, tells us, hey, we have a fire. They give us what they call an e-board that's got coordinates, radio frequencies, all the assets that are ordered, and off we go. And we kind of find out what we're getting into when we get there.
I was watching a piece, CBS had it. It was coming out of California. They've got a helicopter that is running all on AI. So smoke doesn't bother it because it's able to have the visibility, and it went up and they were testing it, and the whole thing was just being run by AI. No pilot in there. Is there a feeling that Ryan Cutter needs to find another job in 10 years?
Based on what I've seen and some of the manufacturers, I think I'm good through retirement, but technology is changing. It's getting better. They're starting to do stuff at night. The drone technology and that stuff going on is definitely advancing, and it's good. They're using drones quite a bit on these fires, small ones, to actually ignite back burns and do mapping missions. But for the most part, they actually hinder us. I think it was Spokane had over 80 drone intrusions.
Yeah, explain. Yeah, Ryan, explain that, because when there were, you mentioned there were 80 in place. So people decide, I just want to get some video of these fires. When the drones are out there, what happens to your job?
We get shut down. The air show stops. If we hit one of those in flight, it can take us down. My previous shift, I was 2.5 miles from the Canadian border in the middle of nowhere, northern Idaho. They had a large air tanker show going up on the ridgeline. We were working down low on the low side of the fire, and the tanker spotted a drone. No idea where it came from. 2 of the tankers in the air attack platform, controlling platform, spotted it. And no idea where it came from, who put it up, but I mean, it's become a huge problem. They ask us what we want to do. A lot of the time they force us down. In that case, we stayed up because it disappeared and nobody saw it again. But they are starting to prosecute and heavily fine people for it. But it's a slow learning curve. The cat's out of the bag, and people just don't think.
But the fine, and by the way, can be up to $50,000. What size drone are we talking about?
A lot of the time it's hobby drones. I've had them on more fires than I can count, and I've yet to see one. I know one of the Super Scoopers hit one with a wing over somewhere in the LA Basin last year. I think so. They have had a couple strikes. Like, luckily, it was the airplane, and a big one that can take it. But for us, taking something like that into the rotor or through the windshield can incapacitate somebody and really cause problems. I mean, into the windshield of any of the aircraft is going to be a problem.
You're telling me that little sort of hobby drone gets hit with one of those blades that you have, and it can have an effect upon your ship?
For sure. I mean, a red-tailed hawk took down a very large aircraft in the Gulf of Mexico years ago, came through the windshield, knocked out the throttle, incapacitated both pilots. Type of deal. So yeah, it doesn't take much. A large bird can do some damage. So then you throw some hard plastic and metal in there, and it'll definitely leave a mark. It hits the wrong place, and it's going to be ugly.
All right, I'm going to go into the rabbit hole with you for 1 second. Can you just dispel a couple of things? Cutter,
Maybe.
You ready?
We'll find out.
Someone has said it to me. Look at the way the trees are burned. Why is everything white ash? This is a laser. This is some sort of magic laser or something. It's burning things. These are not natural fires. This is not how these houses burned. Why are the trees scorched, but the leaves are still on there? And why is everything white ash? It's obviously not a fire. It's a laser. Ryan Cutter, what say you?
It's the world we live in. Somebody always wants some weird answer on something. Conspiracy theater. And it's no fun to just say it's lightning or natural or human caused on there. But I mean, we're seeing some extreme fire behavior that friends are saying they've never seen before this year after a really dry winter, kind of a rough spring. Things are taking off and it's burning overnight big time, but they're lightning starts or they're humans making poor choices.
Okay, so it's not a giant laser?
If it is, I'm not in the loop on it.
And then what was the other thing? Oh, we heard this yesterday, that firefighters will either light the fires sometimes in order to let it burn to run up their overtime. Oh, we froze him out. Either he's thinking about it or he...
Social media posts.
Yeah,
it's like...
Yeah.
I've never witnessed it. Our guys, I mean, we put them on the ground and they go to work.
Yeah.
I've never seen them intentionally let something get bigger. I've seen some mismanaged fires over the years. Stuff they didn't think was serious stood up or got away from them. On that, but I've never seen them intentionally let one go. I have seen them say safety issues and back off and go to a bigger containment box instead of going direct because of the fire behavior and some of the stuff going on. But that's a typical strategy. It's not an overtime strategy on there. With all the stuff going on in the world and all the fires burning right now, I've actually had one of the slowest starts I've ever had to a fire season.
Really?
Out there. We're almost probably 80 or 100 flight hours short of where we were at this time last year. With no shortages of fires this year. It's just kind of been centralized. Utah went off, Colorado went off, and now Oregon's going. Washington's starting to go. But Utah and Colorado have calmed down. So the resources get spread out. They can't focus everything on one. So we just happen to be sitting, and the fires we are getting, we're catching. So.
Well, that's the good news. Well, just for those guys who repel out of those helicopters, please thank them for us if you get a chance. And do you ever think like, I'm the guy behind the controls? They're the real firefighters. Are they the real heroes, Ryan Cutter?
Oh, they do the work for sure.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
The public loves the aircraft and it's showy, but those guys 100%, they do the work. They're the ones who put the fire out. We're just there to help them and support them.
I got you. Well, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. My best to Nina. We'll see you soon there in Park City, okay?
Absolutely, anytime.
Okay, thanks, my friend. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan, please.
Hey, John. Yes, Subaru Puyallup has the update. Let's update you at our Hood Canal Bridge issue this afternoon. We're recovering still from a stalled semi that blocked the eastbound lane right at the bridge for 3 hours. That cleared about a half hour ago, and we haven't budged much. So eastbound 104, solid 6-mile backup starting at State Route 19, close to an hour to get through this. On the east side of the bridge, northbound 3, 7 to 8 mile parking lots stretching all the way into Polsbo now. It's 1 hour to get through this. Westbound 104, a 4-mile backup starting at the south end of Port Campbell Bay. Everett to Marysville, a half hour. North 5 solid from 526 to 528, just volume. Seattle to Everett's going to take an hour. Heavy from Northgate into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, an hour 10. We're bumper to bumper from Bellevue into Kirkland. Looks like we may have a new crash just past 520, and then things clear out pretty good for you. From there, it's just scattered backups into Alderwood. Linwood to Seattle, a solid hour. You're barely moving from Northgate to I-90. North 5 packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Half hour to get through this. And Bellevue to Renton on 405 is at 45 minutes. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through August 31st, enjoy great financing on selected new cars at Subaru of Puyallup. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Yes, you are Nate Connors. If the house is getting kind of hot and the AC is not quite functioning the way it should be, a lot of people that go, oh, no, I need a whole new system. Hang on. Let's not assume the worst. Home Comfort Alliance, they've got a very, very simple approach. They repair first, replace only if needed. The technicians diagnose the real problem before recommending anything. Because a worn-out part, well, that's a simple fix. You're going to be cooling again in no time, and it's just the best way to go. Now, you have to be able to trust the people that are doing the work, and that, of course, is where Home Comfort Alliance comes in. And by the way, a little word of advice for you. If you do need a new AC unit, think heat pump. It's going to keep you cool in the summer, warm in the winter. That's exactly what you want. You have savings as well. Either way, the best way to go is to make sure that Home Comfort Alliance is there with you. If you want to find out exactly what's wrong, you can do it in about 60 seconds with no pressure, no guesswork. Just honest answers. They've got this really cool app that you can have on there at homecomfortalliance.com. Start right there. Don't forget, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs, there's only one place to call. That's Home Comfort Alliance, homecomfortalliance.com.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
The Boeing Classic welcomes the world's greatest golf legends to the Pacific Northwest, August 14th through the 16th at the club at Snoqualmie Ridge. Watch Masters champions and Golf Hall of Famers compete for a $2.3 million purse at the only PGA Tour champion stop in the region. Bring the whole family and make sure to check out the Seahawks Village, packed with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $20 and kids get in free. Visit BoeingClassic.com to get yours today.
The Black Crowes, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
If you haven't been to the Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto yet, this is the week. Fresh shipments land every day. Beams, flooring, shelves, live edge slabs, and so much more. One-of-a-kind pieces you can't find anywhere else. Contractors, designers, DIYers, no time to lumber around. Inventory changes daily. This stuff is rare, it's real, and once it's gone for good. So get here first. Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse. Open in Soto. Go to EWSalvage.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Don't sweat it. Bucky's Complete Auto Care is here to help. This is Sully. Right now, you'll save $50 on any AC service. Whether it's a weekend getaway or the daily commute, you deserve a cool, comfortable ride. For over 50 years, local drivers have trusted Bucky's for honest pricing, expert repairs, and guaranteed work, earning them the Carfax Preferred status. 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, easy financing. For $50 off your cooling system service, visit Bucky's.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair
during their once yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot, 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 and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Shocking details in court papers involving the accused arsonist in Spokane. Aaron Fibonacci did not enter a plea in court today, but as KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas reports, documents show he confessed to starting the Old Trails fire.
Prosecutors say not only did he admit to starting the fire, he told them he'd been planning it for weeks. And this isn't the first time he's done this. He says he's responsible for at least 25 other fires, according to these court documents.
The detectives say they have evidence linking Fibonacci to 4 of those fires. He now faces 5 counts of first-degree arson. A judge increased Fibonacci's bail to $2 million, but his defense requested a mental health evaluation that puts the case on hold. Meanwhile, fire crews are racing against incoming wind set to arrive tomorrow in Spokane. Major General Gent Welsh with the National Guard in Washington tells CNN.
I don't know that the winds are going to be as strong as they were this past weekend, but it's certainly something that's very concerning for those fire crews, very concerned for the fire leadership that's out there. They want to get those containment lines in now before that wind hits.
Those same winds elevating fire danger to the east are clearing wildfire smoke here. Air quality will be steadily improving into tomorrow. Kitsap County Sheriff's Office says it's stepping up efforts to catch online child sex predators after arresting a Seattle man last week who thought he was chatting with a 13-year-old girl.
Investigators say the 29-year-old man was actually chatting with a trained detective and sent explicit messages trying to arrange a meeting. Kevin McCarty with the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office says soon his office will have 3 detectives trained to catch those who would prey on kids.
Whenever possible, those people are going to be taken into custody. They're going to face criminal charges, and they're going to face the punishment of the law for doing these things to kids.
The suspect was arrested on suspicion of 2 counts of attempted child rape. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
FAA is directing airlines to inspect hundreds of Boeing 737 MAX planes after reports of cracking near a galley door opening. This order impacts about 470 MAX 8 and MAX 9 jets. It becomes effective September 10th. Regulators say flights can continue while inspections are carried out. FAA says Boeing has already begun making production changes for newly built aircraft. Now to the real-time traffic desk. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. This one brought to you by Global Credit Union. Everett to Marysville, a half-hour commute this afternoon, and North 5 is just jam-packed between 526 and 528. Northbound 529, also bumper-to-bumper between Everett and Marysville. Seattle to Everett, a solid hour. Bellevue to Everett at an hour 10. Linwood to Seattle is an hour commute, and we're just barely moving from Northgate to I-90. If you want to go to 99 for that route, southbound 99, you're bumper-to-bumper from the zoo down to the stadiums. North 5, packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Nothing new here. About a half hour to get through this. Crossing the lake from Bellevue to Seattle. Half-hour trip on 520. You're bumper-to-bumper across the lake to I-5. 35 minutes on I-90, and it's packed from Island Crest Way all the way to I-5. Renton to Puyallup on southbound 167 is going to take you 50 minutes. Pretty solid now. The entire stretch, there's about a brief 2-mile clear patch through Auburn. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Those hazy skies will be hanging on a little bit longer than we initially thought. The air quality alerts for King, Pierce, Snohomish, and Kitsap counties, it now runs until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And hot weather as well. Temperatures in the mid-80s today and again for tomorrow. Right now, 85 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
Thank you, Joe. I will. Well said, well read. Bucky's Auto Service Center.
Bucky.
Bucky's. I like that part.
Bucky's.
Bucky. Bucky's Auto Service Center.
Bucky. Bucky's.
16 locations. Where's it going? Where's it going?
Bucky.
Key change. Bucky's Auto Service Center. Where'd you take your car?
Bucky's.
Where'd you take your car?
Bucky's.
Took your car to Bucky's.
Bucky's.
Oh, I wish I'd run on that one. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. All right. We're going to end up with that. Tucker Carlson uses highly promoted. Oh, you had to pay for this live stream? You had to pay Tucker $5 a month or something to have him talk about this?
He has, I think, for first right of viewing, you had to be subscribed.
Well, there's 10 points he walked you through. Sounds like he's trying to start a third party.
It's clear what the current trend is, whether it's toward nuclear war or replacement.
Does he do his weird laugh in this? Does he laugh? Does he do the weird laugh?
Not in this clip.
Okay, good.
Replacement by machines in the AI development, or in the case of America breaking apart into components, the trend, if unaddressed, is really, really clear. That's where we're going. And so somebody needs to begin work immediately on one question, which is what unites all of us? It's probably not going to be that hard, because most of the divisions that we think are irreparable, they're chasms. There's no way I have anything in common with that person. If my daughter married him, I'd freak out. Most of those divisions are artificial.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They were actually foisted on us by our leaders, whose incompetence and graft needed a cover. There are smart people who've been saying this for a long time. It's not to say there aren't natural differences between people. Of course there are, including between races. Of course there are. But are they bigger than the things we have in common? No, they're not. But they've been exacerbated and inflamed and intentionally highlighted as part of a long-term project to divert our attention from what is now very obviously true, which is that both parties have colluded against the population to make their lives better and our lives worse.
You agree with that?
I do now.
There's kind of no arguing that that's a fact at this point.
Oh, so you don't argue. I agree with him.
And unfortunately, they have been extremely successful. So if you're going to fix it and rebuild this country and turn it into a place that the grandchildren you hopefully will have can inherit and thrive, you're going to need to do something about the pressing question of American identity. What does it mean to be an American? But it's fixable. You just have to try.
Yeah, that is really the core part, right? I've told this story before, but I remember I was in a play and I really hated my paramour. It was in Tartuffe. I think it was Tartuffe. I just couldn't stand this actress. And I remember after one night of rehearsal, he had us stay late. And he said, "You're both pretty good actors, but I'm not buying it for 1 minute. I can tell the two of you hate each other for some reason. I don't know why you do. But it's coming through. You know all your lines, but it's you. I could just tell. And you can't act your way around it. So here's what you need to do. You're going to stand there on stage and he had me stand there, and then he had, I think her name was Pamela, had her stand on stage, and he said, I want you to tell me why you're here, and why are you here? Why are you acting? What is it about the theater? And I don't care. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Just speak. Just talk. There's no right answer, no wrong answer, but why do you want to be an actor? And I gave my little thing, and I didn't look at her, and she didn't look at me, and then she spoke, and he goes, well, isn't that interesting? You both said almost the exact same thing. So that is the baby. I've said this before, so bear with me. You both love the baby, and the baby is acting. The baby is theater. It's all the things that you guys just said. So you can hate each other all you want, but you got to love the baby. You got to love theater. So that's the one thing you have in common when you look into each other's eyes, when you're doing these lines in this play, when you're going through this rehearsal, when I'm blocking you from position to position, when I'm having you exit and come back in and you have to deliver that line. I want you not to see each other because obviously for some reason you hate each other. But I want you to see the baby. The baby is the person, is the thing that you love. And in this case, it's theater. So love the baby. You don't have to care about each other. It's the same thing when you see the parents that are divorced, they both love the kid. They can't stand one another. Same exact thing. So the baby is the country. And Tucker Carlson says, I can dislike you, but we have one thing in common. We love America. But when someone has redefined what America is, then it's like you don't even know where the baby is. Because someone has then decided, no, it's this or it's that. And the things that I love about this country are the things that you hate about this country. And you talk to somebody, 94% of Republicans say they're patriotic. I think 14 or whatever the number is, 20% of Democrats describe themselves as patriotic because they don't want to love what the other people love. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right. So then you say, well, then you have to tear it all down and say, well, what is it that you would, if you could make a perfect country for yourself, what would it be? And there's a great book called Anatomy of Peace. And it says whenever you get into an argument with somebody, there has to be a beginning point where you both agree with something. And you start from there. And each person makes a small step forward. And then you start to, you collide. Then you back up to where you both agreed again and try to take baby steps forward for it. And then you collide again. And then you back up. It's a great book. And it just talks, gives you the framework of, because nobody really wants to be in conflict. We don't really want to be fighting. There are some that live off of it. They just they get dopamine hits and they become addicted to the anger.
Or they make a living off of it.
Yeah, they've got the signs and they're standing down there and maybe they remember, protesting the 70s and, they're still alive and they're out there and they got the purple hair and they're screaming and yelling and, keying Teslas. Okay, that person's become that they're an activist, addicted individual, and it happens on the right as well. But if you get two people and you say, "What if you could form your own kind of country? What would it be?" There has to be some similarities. There'd be some overlapping of there. So here's what he wants to try to do. He wants to change the rules. He feels that MAGA has been taken over. He doesn't trust Trump anymore. He has no faith in either party because they want to constantly have us battling each other. Have you ever read George Orwell's 1984, right? There is Oceania, right? Euphrasia and Anastasia. Those are two countries that were apparently at war, and that's why they didn't get any chocolate or coffee because we were always constantly having to battle the other side. But Tucker Carlson is going to have a difficult job ahead of him. Democrats spent $6.7 billion. Republicans spent $7.6 billion for the presidential elections. And every single dollar is a promise that a candidate is going to make to the person that gave them the money. And it's all about control and it's all about money. RFK Jr. raised $500 million for his third party, and that didn't go anywhere. So as long as the money's in there and somebody's like, hey, I'll give you $100,000 or I'll give you $2 million or $20 million or $10 million or I'll give you whatever it is, here's what you're going to do for me. You're going to write the law this way. You're going to make sure my business succeeds and my competition fails. Because you're buying something with that money. Yep. Good luck.
I feel like there's enough conversation happening that this is a baby step.
Okay. All right. Take the baby step to love the baby. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, this one brought to you by your KIRO Newsradio App. South 5 barely moving along or between Northgate and I-90 this afternoon. Linwood to Seattle is going to take you an hour and 10 minutes. Southbound 99 will save you a little time, but it is also bumper to bumper coming out of the zoo in through the downtown tunnel. Northbound 99 is packed through that tunnel up to South Lake Union. Some of this traffic is from that afternoon Mariners game that let out about a half hour ago. North 5 packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on a half hour to get through this. Bellevue to South Center on 405's at 50 minutes. We're jammed up from 520 all the way down to the VMAC. Then it opens up pretty quickly for you. Seattle to Federway, 35 minutes. Usual backups between Interurban Avenue and 516. Both directions of I-5 are heavy between Fife and State Route 18. Tacoma to Olympia at 45 minutes. And on the water, the Mukilteo Ferry Terminal, a 2-hour wait for drivers. We've got a 1-hour wait for drivers in Edmonds. Text APP to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula.
When it comes to Dutch Bros, Ursula?
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Every time I go south, I pull up on some Dutch Bros. Yeah. My point is this. Starbucks is going to be moving part of their headquarters over to Tennessee, and there's a lot of people like, oh my goodness, Starbucks is going to be going. Don't you worry. There's other coffee places like, hey, y'all have fun. It's almost like the new stepdaddy. That's what Dutch Bros is about to do.
Subscribe to the G and Ursula Show on YouTube and watch live or later.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you see this in your kitchen,
the stainless steel fridge is covered in fingerprints.
you hear this.
Leslie, people are going to think you were raised in a barn or by wolves or raised in a barn by wolves.
Fortunately, Wyman Stainless Steel 3-in-1 cleans, shines, and protects to give you the best shine. A spray and a wipe will have your fridge shining like a mirror.
Wow, my fridge looks brand new. Your fridge looks amazing, Leslie. Sorry, I was being a little dramatic earlier.
Your kitchen says a lot about you. Let it brag with Wyman.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Premium Wireless. How did you get 30, 30, bet you get 30, bet you get 20, 20, 20, bet you get 20, 20, bet you get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into video only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, you do not have the time to deal with a market downturn.
With Mark Stimson and Casey Elkins.
It's important that you know what the rules are, because if you don't, you can make some tremendous decisions that could adversely affect you, and you may not be able to go back and fix them.
Tune in to Elevate Your Wealth, Saturdays at 11 a.m., right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Looking for the best deal on a new home? Discover the D.R. Horton Home of the Week. With new home communities from Lacey to Stanwood, D.R. Horton has the right home for the best value. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
I feel sorry for this guy. I mean, he's dead now, but
that's a start.
They didn't have to throw this in there. This guy dies. Or he has a heart attack. They drive him out. They take him to the hospital. They put him on life support. And then the people from, what is it, North New Jersey Sharing Network, they show up and they're like, okay, we're here to get his organs. And his wife's like, no. He's a converted Muslim now, and he doesn't, I know it was on his old driver's license, so can't take it. And they're like, no, we're here to get him. We're here to take the organs. We're going to harvest the organs. And they start arguing with the woman and the friend and family that were there because, as far as they were concerned, they were coming in to do. They had some organs they needed, and she's like, "No, but we have a new driver's license, and on the new driver's license, he didn't mark that." And they said, "Well, too bad. We got a contract, and we're coming in." Can you imagine? It took 2 hours. They're trying to sort it out. Now they had him on life support, but the people from the New Jersey Sharing Network. They're like, unplug him, get him out. Well, we got some, heart, and we got some lungs. We want all of that. They battled back and forth on until finally they acquiesced and said, okay, you can have him.
It's just crazy. But they tried to make a point that if you ever declare yourself an organ donor, that it is a lifetime contract.
Right.
That you can't change it.
So I looked up in the state of Washington registry database on records on individual authorization for donation. It does not record an individual's refusal to be a donor. There's a notable detail for your segment. Washington registry has a built-in log yes, but has no field for a no. So if someone actively opts out, that decision doesn't live in the same database that donation professionals check at the time of death.
Sneaky.
Yeah. It's not that the law prevents you from changing your mind. It's that the system's architecture only positively records once the direction of the choice. Well, here's a reason that the story made news. The guy died having sex. There you go. He was having sex, and then I'm sure his wife feels really great about that. Yeah. Man dies after heart attack and sex, and then strangers arrive to harvest his organs.
Rough night.
Sure. Yeah, bad for her. Yeah. I looked up, 1% of heart attacks occur during sex, and normally it's not during the actual act. You have a 2-hour window to kick it. So that's a little better.
Yeah, I mean, this must have been the act. Otherwise, how would they ever know, you know?
Unless she was bragging about it. Like, why did she why bring that up?
Well, she probably had no idea what happened, called 911, said, I don't know, we were having sex.
Yeah, I'd say I don't put that in there because then everyone at the funeral is going to be like,
she wants the doctor to have all the appropriate information. Maybe she had no idea he had a heart problem.
Kent Locke, 47, collapses in his home in Swedesboro, New Jersey on the 17th while having sex with his wife, Brooke. In the midst of it.
Yeah.
What a horrible experience for her. Paramedics rushed him to Cooper University Hospital in Camden. I remember that place.
Oh.
Yeah. Used to sell them stuff. I think they were part of a different group of hospitals. He was put on a ventilator. And doctors concluded, the lack of blood flow. Well, the blood flow was happening somewhere. So caused some swelling, I'll say. Poor Brooke. Let's remember the widow in this case.
And if you decide you no longer want to be an organ donor,
you better tell them.
Yeah, you gotta make the effort.
Right.
I don't know how, but you gotta tell somebody.
Tell them back.
It's not good enough to just uncheck the box.
I always think that'd be a good way to go, though. Bad for the partner, but good for you.
Right.
Kicking it out that way?
Absolutely.
And then they could say at the funeral, we died doing what he loved to do.
That's right.
There you go. Now here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Thanks, John. We've got colossal backups heading to the Hood Canal Bridge this afternoon from earlier conked out semi. That cleared close to an hour ago, but here we are still struggling. Eastbound 104, a solid 4-mile backup taking you 40 minutes to clear this and get to the bridge. On the east side of the bridge, northbound 3 has an 8-mile parking lot stretching into downtown Poulsbo. Just over an hour to get through this. Westbound 104, though, has cleared out. Everett to Marysville, a half hour. Hefty backups from 526 to 528. Suddenly, eastbound 2 is jammed up across the trestle to the EB Slough. I'll check into this for our next report and figure out what's blocking there. North 5 packed into Seattle from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 jam-packed from Northgate to I-90. In fact, it's an hour, 10 minutes just from Linwood. Bellevue to South Center, a 50-minute commute. Seattle to Federal Way, just over a half hour. And Tacoma to Olympia looking pretty good at 45 minutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Jason Rance here with Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. Greg, there are a ton of national advertisers offering services similar to yours. Why shouldn't I go with one of them?
National firms are an interesting phenomena, if you will, because I hear from clients that tried them initially, and they tell me these stories that are just really hard to believe, Jason. They'll call, and the person that they're talking to is really a salesperson. They don't really know the tax resolution business at all. They're trying to make a sale. And so they overpromise, and they'll hook them with a very low initial fee. Then when that case starts moving down the road, all of a sudden the person's getting a phone call. Oh, you need to pay us thousands of dollars to get this thing done. And they tell me sometimes it never gets done.
So it's a tax resolution scheme without any of the resolution.
I really believe part of it is.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn with None Better Tax Resolution. 425-947-1967 or Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Hi, I'm Terry from Sky Nursery, and our summer event season is here. We have something exciting planned for you every weekend all summer long. See thousands of beautiful flowers at the 50th Anniversary Dahlia Show. Enjoy a 2-day Ikebana exhibition on Japanese floral arranging. Join workshops on mosaics, bonsai, and even carnivorous plant terrariums. As a family-owned garden center, Sky Nursery loves partnering with local artists and makers to celebrate a vibrant creative community. See our summer schedule at skynursery.com.
At Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we make protecting your home simple and affordable. With flexible financing and 20-plus years of trusted service, you can count on lasting quality from Guardian. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Summer is for letting it rip.
Swung on and missed, ripped it right by him. 7 scoreless innings. Marvelous Miller again.
Summer is for showing out.
Swing and a miss. Woo, 6 up and 6 down.
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Logan Gilbert, he's knocked down a dozen in a row.
So call your favorite Walter and head to T-Mobile Park because our pitchers are rolling. From George Kirby to Senor Smoke.
Up in the attic at 101. Nothing but the express tonight for Andres Munoz.
Matilda would be proud. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
50 season celebration weekend kicks off tomorrow with Alumni Home Run Derby Night. Presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Headlined by the one and only Ichiro. Then don't miss the biggest pregame show in Mariners history Saturday. Presented by Daktronics. As the top 50 greatest players are unveiled. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Anthony Hamilton with Tony live in the Tulalip Amphitheater Thursday, September 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Unfriendly skies in 9 states affected by a total shutdown of airspace. Systems going offline for reasons we still don't know. ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney.
Well, this was a radar and a frequency outage at one of the largest air traffic control centers. This is called Minneapolis Center, but it handles the air traffic over several nearby states. We're talking more than 330,000 square miles.
Systems are returning with delays. The court case is on hold for a man authorities say confessed to starting one of the Spokane wildfires that destroyed more than 800 homes. His attorney is asking for a mental health evaluation. Prosecutors say he admits to starting at least 25 other fires last year. Olympian David Hearn, accused of vandalizing the reflecting pool, can take a victory lap now. A federal judge today dismissed the criminal case with prejudice. And that decision means the government cannot charge him again later if it would want to. This is ABC News. Tennessee has a primary going on today featuring a new map that carved up Memphis's majority black congressional district. Republicans hoping that this will give them a clean sweep there in the midterms. The deal announced by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent to reopen the Strait of Hormuz by yesterday has not materialized. International crude rising again. President Trump today signing an executive order, actually 2 of them, designed to get around the Supreme Court's recent decision against his ban on giving citizenship when a child's born on U.S. soil. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller saying the orders give clarity.
To expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship. That includes, for example, alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments.
The administration says some people come here pretending to be a tourist, pretending to be a visitor, just to have a U.S. citizen child. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Coming up, new court documents reveal a suspected arsonist's confession. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thank you, Aaron. Lake Washington Windows and Doors has our update. Everton Marysville, a solid half hour. We really haven't budged in the past hour, and it's got a hefty backup between 526 and 528. Bellevue to Everett, plan on a 1-hour drive. Seattle to Everett, also 1 hour. South 5 heading into Seattle. We're bumper to bumper from Northgate to I-90. You're just barely, in fact, you're parked through a good chunk of this. Linwood to Seattle, up to an hour and 15 minutes. Linwood to Bellevue in comparison, just a half hour if you can swing that route. North 5 packed from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge, half hour to get through this. Bellevue to South Center is at 50 minutes. We're all jammed up from 520 down to the VMAC, and then it opens up for you. Seattle to Federal Way, we're down to a half hour. Renton to Puyallup, a 45-minute drive. Pretty solid down the entire stretch of the Valley Freeway. Save $588 on every window and $1,088 on every door, plus free heat deflecting glass. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. A chilling confession by the man accused of starting one of the Spokane wildfires. According to court documents, Aaron Fibonacci told detectives he'd been planning the Old Trails fire for weeks. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas has more.
So during his interview with detectives, prosecutors say Aaron Fibonacci detailed his plan, saying he'd been using his weather app trying to find a day with, quote, high winds, low humidity, and sort of high heat.
Prosecutors say he also admitted to starting at least 25 other fires last year and charged him with 4 additional counts of arson. Fibonacci did not enter a plea today and said his lawyers requested a mental health evaluation. That puts the case on hold while a judge upped his bail to $2 million. Seattle police are asking for the public's help after what they say was a violent hate crime in downtown. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
The attack happened just after 9 p.m. Tuesday night. 2 men walking near 8th and Stewart say a stranger threw a bottle with an unknown liquid at them, shouted homophobic and racial slurs, and physically assaulted them. But he didn't get away. Here's SPD Detective Shane Weatherford.
The 2 men were able to call 911 and they pinned the suspect to the ground until officers arrived.
Police arrested a 40-year-old man and booked him into the King County Jail. If you have any information about this attack, call 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
More tech layoffs. Salesforce says it's cutting 59 roles in Seattle and Bellevue. They're mostly engineering jobs. Earlier this week, Google announced 52 layoffs. Zillow announced cuts as well earlier this week. Well, it is never a good sign when your right fielder ends up pitching. That's what happened to the Mariners today with a lopsided loss to the Detroit Tigers.
The Tigers add 3 more off of Victor Robles, position player, getting a chance to pitch here in the top of the 9th inning.
Final score 11-0. It was the second time in 3 games the Tigers held the M scoreless. Mariners now 4 games under 500 and 3 back of the first place Houston Astros. So your forecast now, our air quality not improving as quickly as we thought it might. The air quality alerts in effect until 8 o'clock now tomorrow morning for King and Pierce and Snohomish counties, and temperatures will stay in the mid-80s for tomorrow. Right now, 85 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Thank you. Here we go. Thank you, Aaron. All right. John Curley Show rolling on in, everybody, with Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line. Teeny has got the letter of the day. She already has it?
Actually, she does.
Wow. But you never know. Someone could come in and take it. 1-888-973-5476. Diving in the news. There we go. Come on. Yeah. I hit the board late. Ouch. Stubbed my toe on that one. How about the Wall Street Journal picking up the Democrats' turn against direct democracy? Shocking. Yeah, they point out that in the state of Washington, they don't like the initiative. 550-some-thousand of us all voted to say, when Brian Hayward from Let's Go Washington said, do you want to have an income tax? Now, are you okay with the quote-unquote millionaires tax? And 550-some-thousand said, no, we don't want it. We want this thing on the ballot. We're going to vote on this thing. So about 3 million people will vote. Hayward told me the other day he needs 1.8 million people to vote yes. This is the weird part about it. It's going to show up. A yes is a no and a no is a yes. And they did this before when I think it came to the carbon stuff. Because there's no way. You look at the CCA, the areas in the state of Washington that said, yeah, I'm okay with you just, running a hot poker up my rectum every time I go to the gas station. I think I voted yes or no for that. I can't remember. It seems a little confusing for people. So here's the way this thing's set up. It's written in such a way to confuse you. Let's face it. Do you want a millionaire? Are you in favor of a millionaire's tax? No. Don't say no. Say, do you want to get rid of the millionaires tax that they have in place? You get rid of it? Yes. All three of the initiatives that you pushed forward that will be on your ballot, you want to go yes, yes, yes on all that. 1.8 million people need to do it to get rid of it, to get rid of the quote-unquote millionaires tax. People know that it is not a millionaires tax. They know where all the money is, and it's in the middle class. It's not going to be the millionaires. The 25,000 they think that are going to be paying this millionaires tax, paying about $3 billion. They're going to spend about $500 million in order to be able to get this thing going. They have to hire 300 and some accountants, and they're ready to roll. I was talking to Hayward the other day. He was telling me about how this one particular group sues them every time, or at least tries to slow down when they do the initiatives. So when they file an initiative, there is a group called, what is the name of it? Pacifica Law. And what they do is they challenge the initiatives. It costs them about $1,000. So when you put an initiative in, they go, whoop, hold on a second. We want to look that over. They make the courts look it over. It delays often the initiative by 10 days. Well, they needed, Let's Go Washington, needed this initiative. They needed those 10 days. So Brian, sly fox that he is, he decides, what he'll do is files a bunch of initiatives. So then Pacifica Law had to spend $1,000 on all of them. So they're like going through all of them. They're going to, and then they had a lady in Issaquah that didn't seem to be politically active at all. She files the initiative that gets in there. And while Pacifica Law is so busy challenging these others, in comes the whoop, right around them.
Nice.
So if they want to play politics and slow things up because they knew those 10 days were essential.
And that's the only reason they're doing this. They're challenging these initiatives.
Because they can.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. Yeah. So they got some gal in Issaquah to slip the thing in there, and they were so busy over here, it got in. So it saved them the 10 days.
And it costs Pacifica $20,000
to fight
$1,000 each.
Each one on the other ones. It's just a what's that, Teeny? I'm sorry.
Excellent.
Yes. Just a wild game. And they're going to be at it again. The unions have got about $150 million that they can spend. They're probably going to spend, Brian told me yesterday or a couple of days ago, that it's going to be, he thinks they'll spend maybe $50 to $60 million or $30-some million in order to push all three of the initiatives in the direction that they want. And for the 1.8 million that he needs to vote yes, 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 which seems weird, counterintuitive. You like a millionaire's tax? No. Want to remove the millionaire's tax? Yeah. And how they writing it for everybody also seems the thing that throws people off.
That's what the Journal was touching on, right? Is how they make it intentionally confusing for voters.
This measure, which is going to say at the bottom, this measure would decrease funding for public K-12 education, higher education, including university and community college, and human services, primarily healthcare. But the weird part is, how can it do that when it hasn't collected any money yet? The Democrats' income tax hike doesn't take effect until 2028, preempting it, and future increases can't decrease funding that doesn't exist.
That should be illegal.
It is not. It will be the battle of the airwaves, and I'm helping out with him. I got a couple of ideas. I was running some ideas by him yesterday.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to tell off the air because we won't give too much away.
All right.
Yeah, but it's going to be strategic and lots of money thrown around in order to be able to have the Democrats that are bought and sold for by the unions, because they will be the ones that will benefit most from the quote-unquote millionaire's tax, which people know is not going to be a millionaire's tax. Now to Katie. Katie Wilson. People still blasting away at her. And now the Black City leaders attack Wilson. Jonathan Cho reports that they're upset about Chief Barnes getting fired. He gets fired. He resigned, right? They worked it out that way. And they also said that there's not enough black representation in the administration. So these are individuals that are primarily, I assume, judging people by the color of their skin, not by the content of their character. Here's former state rep Dawn Mason criticizing the mayor for not bringing the black community along when she was a candidate.
Right. She did not bring any of us along with her when she ran for office. She has not hired any. So we asked her at least keep the ones that we already have. And she couldn't even last for 7 months. I have asked her what is her problem with blacks. She said she's working on it.
Mm-hmm. This was from the other day, wasn't it? This stuff's old. It's about a week old. Yeah. Then Cho asks, again, comes to Katie Wilson's defense.
In fairness to the mayor, isn't the deputy mayor half Korean, half black?
Yes.
Oh, and then that guy comes down and yells at him? Yeah.
That's a pretty high-ranking official. I just want to know.
We're not doing these. No. We're not doing it. You asking me biased questions.
Biased question. Okay. That's a biased question. Somebody else is saying, hey, we want black people in there, not white people. We don't have enough black people. But the question of, doesn't she have some people that check boxes for you? That's bias?
That's a biased question. I'm just asking the truth.
You're a brown skin, too.
I don't understand. It's a person.
Yeah. And so a man named Ty McCullum, is that right? Mm-hmm. Ran across the room. Oh, this was him going after Cho.
Record me.
I'm not a race hustler.
No, I'm not a race hustler. I said you're a minority.
I am, but
you are a minority.
My job as a journalist to ask questions and to lay out facts.
Journalism.
The deputy mayor is Brian Surratt. He's half black, half Korean. If you can't acknowledge that, then I can't have a conversation with you.
Talk about race, but you bringing up race. I just said you're a minority because you are a minority, and I said don't smear.
What's your name?
Don't worry about my name.
Okay, if you're going to come up on me in my face and tell me how to do my job, at least have the decency to give me your name. My name's Jonathan Cho.
My name is Tom McCollum.
Okay.
I'm the founder of No Negativity Media.
That's fine.
The tables that we've been denied from, we don't do this negativity.
Okay, you can call it negativity. I have a job to do is ask questions on all sides.
Your job is BS.
I may not agree with Mayor Wilson on everything, but I have to ask questions when she's accused of falsehoods. She has black leaders in her administration. You have to acknowledge that.
That's fine. We do. She does have black leaders
in
her administration.
And Dawn Mason accused her of not having enough, and to consider that.
So here's the thing. I'm just saying, you are coming in here dividing with your bull-ass journalism.
I ask questions for a living. That's all I do. Okay, fair enough. I respect your opinion.
And don't you come back up in here. When they get up out of here, don't you come up in here on that bull. Do you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're scolding me now? You're telling me?
I'm scolding you because you're doing some bull.
All right.
Okay, all right. Because the original charge was that she didn't.
She did not bring any of us along with her when she ran for office. She has not hired any. So we asked her at least keep the ones that we already have.
Okay.
And she couldn't even last for 7 months. I have asked her what is her problem with blacks. She said she's working on it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Katie Wilson didn't go to a lot of people. She didn't go to the unions. She didn't ask them for anything. Because if you want the union support, they're going to want something in return, right? So they're going to write you checks. So you go to the community, black community or whatever community, and you start asking for their support, well, they're going to want something in return, right? It's quid pro quo on all of this stuff. When you parachute in, as Wilson did, without the connections that are normally associated with politics, go to the union, have them write, have them endorse, have them get all of their union members out for you. They're going to come knocking. Hello, remember we gave you all that support? We gave you all that money? Yes. Okay, good. Here's everything we want. We can leave this for you. We can fax it. We can text it. We just basically want this and this and this and this and this because we gave you this amount of money. That's the way it works. That's a connect the two. Nobody's doing anything other than in their own self-interest. So she didn't go to the quote-unquote black community and say, you know, support me, give me some endorsement. Because Bruce Harold, remember that whole thing with Harold and the weird thing about somebody had lightened his skin or darkened his skin? And,
well, and she had an endorsement from a member of the black community, and that person ended up rescinding the endorsement under pressure from Bruce Harold.
Right.
And then they accused her of basically co-opting his endorsement without her permission, and he went on camera and denied ever having given it to her.
I never gave it to her,
which was completely untrue.
So because she didn't go and ask for something from someone, now their door has closed. Because you can knock all you want. Who's at the door? Oh, it's the union people. Well, what do they want? Well, I didn't get any money from them, so I don't need to feel beholden to them. Because she didn't get anything. She doesn't have to get anything. So now, and the same thing with the leaders, quote unquote, leaders of the black community, she didn't go to them to get something. Maybe she asked for an endorsement but didn't get the endorsement. But now they're coming back and they're asking for something. She's not beholden to anybody in this regard. And that's the problem. And that's also the freedom for her. She doesn't have to kowtow to somebody. She doesn't have to repay favors, and she doesn't have to do that. Now the problem is, then they can easily circle the wagons around her. You don't think that the union and others that are stirring up all of the stuff that she's dealing with, and I'm not saying she's handling this perfectly. I said the other day, I give her an A for a novice. I give her a C- for somebody that you expect to be standing in front of a podium addressing the press. But if you were 42, 43 years old, never really had a real job, that's true. And then all of a sudden you're standing there at a press conference. There's a great, crazy play called The Actor's Nightmare. And the play goes this way. The actor is standing backstage, and all of a sudden the stage manager goes, "You're on." And he walks into the scene. He didn't show up at any rehearsals. He knows none of the lines. And he's just there, center stage, with all the other actors saying all this stuff. And the nightmare is, I have no idea what my line is. She, as I said to Katie Wilson when she was here a number of months ago, I said, if you win, a couple weeks out, if you win, do you realize you're going to wake up the next day? You're going to have 12,000 employees, an $8 billion budget, a giant problem because the other administrations and the activists have screwed this city over after the 2020 Floyd thing, the Floyd fever that struck the city of Seattle, and then mass exodus of the businesses, the homeless industrial complex, all of that. You got a big, big problem. You're going to wake up tomorrow. You're going to be the mayor. That's like a bad reality television show. And all of a sudden, you're the mayor. And her reaction was sort of like, yep, well, that's what I signed up for.
Yeah.
So here she goes. So you'll see the unions going after. The media is now blood in the water because it's kind of fun. You want to follow everybody. Aren't you insulted? Aren't you upset that she's not transparent enough? She's not telling us everything. I'm sure they've filed some Freedom of Information requests, so they want to know more about it. But at a certain point, and I understand the value of having someone, I've read the studies. If you feel that you can relate to that person because of the color of their skin and the culture that they've come from and their upbringing, we all relate to one another. There's studies that show that if an employer needs to hire one person or another, if his name is John Smith, there's a pretty good chance he'll hire somebody who has a similar initials to him. Right? It's crazy. It's the own built-in bias that we all have. You want to choose the best people, right? But if everything's through the filter of race, is that the best person? Who knows? But you're not going to get Wilson having to go to certain groups in the community and then say, okay, now it's payback time. We've given you the endorsement. Now you need to do this and this for us. And the other part of it is, okay, if you got 10 positions, how many do you want? You want 3? You want 6? You want the majority? You want the minority? Like, are we just doing colors of people and genders of people? Are we just checking those boxes? Or you want the best person? Is it Coleman Hughes? I think that's his name. Coleman Hughes wrote a book called A Colorblind Society. He did a TED Talk. It was so popular for the first 2 days or something, and then they took it down. I don't think it's up anymore. And in the very beginning of it, he says, I want everyone here, it's a TED Talk, to think for a moment, close your eyes and think about your best friend or somebody you really, really enjoy spending time with. Now, I want you to write down the 10 qualities about that individual that you really enjoy. I'll give you a moment to do it. So people are there and they're writing on them. He goes, okay, everyone got it? Good. How many of you wrote down race? How many of you started from your list of 10? The thing I really like about that person is they're white. The thing I really like about that person is they're black. He said, I will bet you there's probably no one sitting here right now that listed of the 10 qualities of the individual that they admire, that they like, that they want to spend time with. I'll bet you anything you don't have race. And he believes, Coleman Hughes does, that we can move to a colorblind society and we don't have to judge on that. Because it's immutable. You had nothing to do with it. It didn't make you who you are. Yes, if you grew up in an incredibly racist society, black, white, Muslim, Irish, whatever it is, a Catholic Jew, and you were under constant attack because of the fact that your skin color was lighter or darker than somebody else's, yes, that's going to form you as a person. But that's the past. Take it, have it make you a stronger individual, and then don't present that type of bias and racism on somebody else. If you experienced it, why would you do it to someone else? And that's black, white, it doesn't matter. But I do recommend, if I don't even still up anymore, because I know that the people that put up the TED Talk and took it down, they got a lot of crap for it. But he's a brilliant young man who really believes that we should start with the humanity of the individual. And think of those 10 characteristics, and I bet it has nothing to do with race. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic.
Thanks, John. KIRO Newsradio App has the update. Everett to Marysville, we're down a few to a 25-minute drive, but it is still heavy between 526 and 528. Northbound 529, bumper to bumper between Everett and Marysville. Bellevue to Everett and Seattle to Everett are both down just a few minutes at 55 minutes apiece. So 405, we're heavy between Bellevue and Totem Lake, and then it clears out for you. I-5, though, is heavy from Northgate all the way through Linwood into Mill Creek. Everett to Seattle is going to take an hour 21, hour 10 just from Linwood, and it's a parking lot between 130th and Northgate all the way to I-90. North 5, we're thick from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. About a half hour to get through this. Bellevue to Seattle across Lake Washington, 35 minutes on 520, about 40 minutes on I-90. Bellevue to Renton is pushing 50 minutes, and Federal Way to Seattle, a 25-minute drive. It's slow starting at South 288 all the way into Fife. Text APP to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Nate Connors. Let's see if a house is just unorganized. It might be because you just have some parts that aren't functioning correctly. And I'm not talking about a heating and cooling system. No, I'm talking about closets. Because so often people don't even think about this, and especially when houses get built, it might be the last thing that the builder puts in place. A couple of wire racks or something, that's good enough. Because they always assume that after the house is in there and you're in there, you realize, okay, we need to do something. So you go online. I know the first one that pops up on Google. Let's pass on that one. Let's dig down a little deeper. And what you'll find is Closets by Design. You're going to see that they're family run. They've been around for 22 years. And they do a great job of trying to source most of their parts right here in the Pacific Northwest. And the other amazing thing about Closets by Design is when they come to your home, they've got all sorts of ideas you never even thought of before. They put an entire wall of cabinets in the garage for us, so now we can fit the car in there. They completely redesigned all of the bedrooms as well. And when they built cabinets for the laundry room, they made sure that the cabinets would match the floor. How about that? 40% off? Sure, plus 15% off and 18 months 0% finance on approved credit when paid in full. Closets by Design. 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You know, I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments. Clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The Black Crowes, live in the Tulalip Amphitheater, Sunday, August 30th. Tickets are on sale now. Details at TulalipCasino.com.
If you haven't been to the Earthwise Salvaged Lumber Warehouse in Soto yet, you're missing out. Beams, flooring, shelves, live edge slabs, and so much more. One-of-a-kind pieces that show up one day and disappear the next. This stuff is rare, it's real, and once it's gone, it's gone. Contractors, designers, DIYers, no time to lumber around. Inventory changes daily, and the good stuff does not wait. Earthwise Salvaged Lumber Warehouse. Open in Soto. Go to EWSalvage.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Don't sweat it. Bucky's Complete Auto Care is here to help. This is Sully. Right now, you'll save $50 on any AC service. Whether it's a weekend getaway or the daily commute, you deserve a cool, comfortable ride. For over 50 years, local drivers have trusted Bucky's for honest pricing, expert repairs, and guaranteed work, earning them the Carfax Preferred status. 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, easy financing. For $50 off your cooling system service, visit Bucky's.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. The 37-year-old man accused of intentionally setting one of those wildfires in Spokane may have started many more fires. ABC's Alex Stone reports.
In new court documents, investigators say alleged arsonist Aaron Farinacci said he started planning what would become the Old Trails fire 2 weeks beforehand, that he researched when there would be high wind and low humidity and how to get the greatest spread of the fire, and that he allegedly put a time delay device in a field and watched the fire as it grew. Prosecutors say he admitted to starting at least 25 other fires last year. They say he described fire as powerful and beautiful and that he thought arson would be easy to get away with. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Farinacci's lawyers requested a mental health evaluation, putting the case on hold. No plea was entered at today's court hearing. A judge increased Farinacci's bail to $2 million. The number of destroyed or damaged structures in the Spokane wildfires is on the rise today. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin with an update from fire crews on the ground.
That count is actually up to 913 structures at this point this morning. They say that likely, unfortunately, could go up within the next few days and weeks.
And now fire crews are racing against incoming wind set to arrive tomorrow. FAA is ordering inspections of hundreds of Boeing 737 MAX jets after reports of cracks near a galley door opening. The new directive affects about 470 aircraft, including MAX 8 and MAX 9 models. It takes effect September 10th. FAA says Boeing is making changes to address the issue on newly built planes. A sour sign for our region's tech economy as Facebook's parent company backs out of yet another office building. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery explains.
It's quite the about face as Meta is now giving up a 212,000 square foot office space
offering it as a sublease in Bellevue's Spring District. The company started a rapid expansion in the Northwest back in 2018, pre-leasing one of the first buildings in that new complex, then going on a hiring spree before leasing more space and even buying an entire building. But Meta's metaverse fizzled, and like many other companies, it's shifted its focus to artificial intelligence. Multiple rounds of layoffs later, the company seems to be divesting, offering 3 of its planned 7 buildings in Bellevue for sublease. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
And now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:33. Here's Nate Connor.
And this traffic report brought to you by Carpet Liquidators. Everett to Marysville's at 25 minutes. You've got a hefty backup this afternoon, though, between 526 and 528. And northbound 529 might save you a few minutes, but it is bumper to bumper between Everett and Marysville as well. Just under an hour from both Bellevue and Seattle into Everett. Everett to Seattle is going to take you an hour 20. Hour 10 of that from Linwood, and it is a parking lot. Bumper to bumper from 130th and Northgate all the way to I-90. North 5, we're bumper to bumper from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on a half hour to get through this. Bellevue to Renton, we're pushing 50 minutes. It is thick from 520 all the way to Northeast 44th near the VMAC, and then it opens up pretty quickly from there. North 405, we're slow from South Center through the S-curves. South Center to Bellevue, plan on a half hour. And if your travels take you over to Bonnie Lake, eastbound 410, we have a 3-mile solid backup starting at Valley Avenue all the way up the hill to Veterans Memorial Drive in downtown Bonnie Lake. August is Karastan month at Carpet Liquidators. Purchase beautiful Karastan carpet and get free installation. Why pay retail? They got you covered at Carpet Liquidators. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Well, the air quality index still in the unhealthy range for many areas today. The air quality alerts in effect until now 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for King, Kitsap, Pierce, and Snohomish counties. But wind is coming in. It'll bring fresher air starting tomorrow, and the weekend is looking very nice with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. Right now, 85 degrees and hazy in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Teeny, I believe you got one job, 2 jobs. You get the letter of the day. Plus, also spin the wheel, please. There you go. Thank you. Names of all the players are on the wheel. It is a brightly colored kaleidoscope of colors. It's Mariners colors today. Look at it. Very bright. And Aaron's name just fell off, and Joe's did as well. Nate, it landed on you, by the way. Yes, your favorite Wilcox Farms egg recipe.
Speaking of Mariners, one of my favorite Wilcox Family Farms eggs recipes is called the Loser Omelet. Yes, sir, where you find anything in the fridge, make an omelet out of it, and anything in the fridge, preferably something way back out there in right field, throw it in there at the last minute and just hope for the best.
There we go. Nice. Thank you for that one, Nate. Here we go.
Might as well go win the whole thing.
This city across my chest. See it all now, so bring your best. Gotta come to us if you want the West.
Here we go.
The Mariners are going to the postseason. Come on, Aaron.
I don't know, man.
I don't believe it.
Oof. Can I read a text that just came in?
Yeah.
This is from
torturing Aaron.
360. It says, straight copium saying we're better on paper. This team sucks. Lack of money spent, terrible coaching. We're legit blank, and these players suck. Hashtag sell the team or relocate. 50 years of literal disappointment. What a joke of a franchise. Our only thing to look forward to is a bunch of retired Mariners. Worst sports franchise I've ever seen. The Browns have a better chance at a Super Bowl than we do of ever going to the World Series. At least they spend money on their players, if they even if they don't fan out. And then it says, oops, wrong number.
Boy. Their league worst 11th shutout today. Shutout 2 times in 3 games to the Detroit Tigers. 11-0 final score today. And nod to Nate over there. That was a clever little recipe. You said you grab something out of right field and throw it in. That's a reference to Victor Robles, our right fielder who ended up pitching the 9th inning. Never a good sign when your outfielder ends up on the mound.
How'd he do?
Not well. Gave up 3 runs in the 9th inning.
What are some of his pitches that he's got?
He was throwing like 50, 60 miles per hour. He was just lobbing them in there.
Nice.
Batting practice.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, they won yesterday.
They did. I'm glad Rye got to see a win yesterday. I was at the game the day before where they were shut out.
Yes.
The Mariners are going to the postseason.
You know, to the money point, I don't think it's spending of money that is the problem, though. I mean, Padres spend a bunch of money; they're no good either. But you got teams like the Dodgers to spend money who are good. Mariners spend a decent amount of money. They're like, top 15 payroll. It's just this is pretty much the same team that took you to within 8 outs of the World Series last year,
right?
Minus Gino Suarez and minus Jorge Polanco. It's pretty much the same roster.
Isn't it fascinating? If you could look at it just stuff on paper, right? So Cal Raleigh's injured, had some other problems with others at the plate, right? Emerson, how he was doing. You look at that stuff, but then if there's this mental aspect to the game, where if you start losing and then have a loser attitude, and as you said, if you watch the game today, they start pushing, they start. Things get sloppy. They're not in the flow. Mm-hmm. The flow is, there's tons of books written about it, where you just know that you're going to hit. You just know that you're going to make the layup. You just know you're in the zone. And they never really seem to get in that zone where they just started winning. And not just winning games, but like coming back and beating other teams. Traveling, going out long stands away from home, big trips all across the United States and beating team after team after team, and it builds on its own momentum.
Right.
You come back home in front of everybody else and you annihilate another team, and each victory builds on itself.
Yeah, no, it's a spiraling effect now because like I would say golf and baseball are similar in that way, whereas if you try too hard and you press and you push, that's when you start to fail. In a game like football, you can be physical. You can let out your aggression and hit somebody.
Right.
In baseball, you can't do that. It's so mental. And once you start hearing the boos rain down from the crowd,
that is very
which they did,
un-Seattle-like.
There was some strong booing today because of the sloppy play and just poor at-bats. You start to press, and it feels bad, and it's got to feel really, really crummy in that clubhouse. And it's also such a bummer because it's supposed to be a celebratory weekend coming up. And honestly, they're facing one of the best teams in baseball this weekend in the Rays. And it might get even uglier for...
At what inning did they start booing?
I'm not sure when they started today, but it was pretty heavy toward the middle
Toward the
innings.
end? Good.
Yeah.
I think Seattle needs to kind of grow a pair when it comes to booing. I'd like to see him boo earlier. As somebody from
it's right
Philadelphia,
when they come out.
You could do that as they used to do in Philadelphia. I remember being at a Seahawks game. I looked up, and I think it was third quarter. Mm-hmm. Or coming into the third quarter, and I think we had 32 yards rushing. And I forget the play, but it was the beginning of the second half, and they screwed something up, and people booed. And I turned to this guy, there you go. You should have been booing in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. This team sucks, and you need to let them know they suck. And I don't know what it does to the mentality of the players when you start getting the boos raining down on you. But it's like, you suck. We want to let you know you suck, and you can build. That's constructive criticism.
Yeah, I would agree. It's unacceptable. I mean, with expectations as high as they were, it's baffling. It's confounding. I don't know why they're playing so poorly. I don't.
Don't you think it's sort of ridiculous? They finished the season last year as they did, just a heartbreaking end, but everybody's like, wow, what a great run. Mm-hmm. And then people start talking, they're going to have spring training. Hey, here it comes. Here it comes. But is there really momentum from one year to the next? Because we had everything in place. We said, okay, our bats got hot later in the season. It wasn't until August things, but we had great pitching staff. We had everything in place. We're ready to go. Does it really go into the next year where it's like now we're set up for the World Series?
I guess not for the Mariners. I mean, like a couple of years ago when they finally ended the postseason drought, I think the following year they missed the playoffs. So, no, for some reason, not for the M's. Dodgers, though, they're going to go back to back to back this year, it looks like. So, good for Joe's Dodgers. Man, it could get really ugly here this month, by the way. Get real ugly. I mean, their schedule is a gauntlet this month. The first place Rays come to town. Then you go to New York to face the Yankees, who are really good.
Right.
And then I think you face another first place team, or then you face the Astros, who are in first place. It could get real bad. So the next time they come home after a road trip,
let's boo them early, everybody.
They might get booed in the first inning.
I say start booing as you walk into the stadium.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just carry on.
Don't boo during the national anthem. Boo the guy throwing in the first pitch.
There you go.
Let him know. No MLB players are currently on strike. Is there any talk of it looming currently? December 1st, 2026, industry insiders express pessimism about two sides finding a middle ground easy because of course, they want to try to draft structure when it comes to drafting, and then also pay
salary cap. Yeah.
Salary cap's the big issue right now. Players don't want a salary cap. They want to get paid as much as they want. Yeah. Owners do, of course, but yeah, that could lead to a lockout at the end of this year.
All right.
Great.
Speaking of Mariners, vibes. Thank the guy yesterday in row, was it section 221, row 5, seat 7, for not moving over 1 so that my family could all sit together. I said, can I just ask you a favor? Can I ask you a favor? No. The answer is no. I was like, just want to know, we should move over 1. No. Maybe you didn't hear me the first time. The answer is no.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it was a jerk the whole game.
Right, even offered to buy him a beer.
Buy him a beer, like, hey, it's okay, you didn't move, but can I buy you a beer to sort of settle things down? Nope.
Sheesh. It wasn't Dan Wilson, was it?
Dan. All right. Thank you, Nate. Here goes the thank you. Here goes Nate checking traffic anytime.
Colossal backups at the Hood Canal Bridge this afternoon as we recover from a conked-out semi. It's been cleared for a good hour and a half, but it sat there for a few hours blocking the eastbound lane. So, eastbound 104, we've got about a 3 to 4 mile backup, taking you 40 minutes to get to the bridge. Northbound 3, still a solid 7 mile parking lot stretching into Polsbo. About an hour 10 just to get through this. And westbound 104, a couple miles backed up into Port Gamble. Everett to Seattle still struggling at an hour 20. It's an hour 10 just from Linwood, and it's a parking lot from Northgate down to I-90. North 5 solid from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal. Plan on a half hour to get through this. Bellevue to Renton, it's at 45 minutes. It's really heavy through Bellevue starting at 520, and then you're not in the clear until you get to the VMAC, but once you get past Northeast 44th there, you're going to clear out right away. And on the water, we have 2-hour waits for drivers at the Mukilteo Ferry Terminal and the Edmonds Terminal. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where he can get a battery for under $100. Lonnie, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Lonnie does that for free too. In no time at all, John is back on the road. Ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here it comes, possibly the biggest online midsummer auction anywhere of heavy equipment, trucks, tools, lumber, and much more. Presented by the Murphy Auction Company, bidding is underway now. Featured items include a 2020 Bobcat E32i excavator with less than 1,000 hours, a 2016 Freightliner 2100 Hydrovac truck, a 2011 John Deere 310J 4x4 backhoe, and much more. 10 excavators, 4 backhoes, 11 forklifts, 5 boom and scissor lifts, 5 rollers, 28 golf carts, and more than 60 heavy trucks. But wait, there's more. Attachments, roll-off boxes, shipping containers, contractor tools, lumber, and much more all go into the highest bidder. Preview all items August 11th and 12th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our location in Marysville, 3803 136th Street Northeast. For pictures, catalogs, and all details, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com. murphyauction.com.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
Thank you, Teeny. Appreciate that. Joe's not back yet with the letters. Teeny has chosen letter of the day. Thanks, everybody, for writing in. And I'm just stalling as we're waiting for Joe. Although, in the meantime, let's wait and sing an entire song, the Mailman song from Elgin, Illinois. Here he is with the Mailman song. Mailman?
I'm the mailman. As you can see, I'm the mailman. Don't nobody mess with me.
Don't mess with him.
I'm the mailman.
That's enough. Enough. Michael, that's enough, please.
That's enough. All right.
For your letter of the day, first take care of all the rest. Here we go.
Jamestown and Eastlake says, did you guys clean the pool or did all the critters swim away because of the forest fires?
Oh, that's when I dive in. No, they're all there. Okay. Nick in Everett says, Nate's input are such funny insights to the show. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Todd in Enumclaw says...
Hey, does anybody agree with Nick from...
I do.
I do too.
Todd in Enumclaw says, come on, you guys missed the best part where she calls out John for being so judgy. Did John play that clip?
No, he didn't play that.
No.
RC in Edmond says, thanks for giving Cliff Mass back on the show. Yep, good to have him.
Rihanna in Arlington says, does Nate think of me when he says bumper to bumper? Because I think of him every time I'm bumper to bumper.
Yes, I do, Rihanna.
Thank you. Cameron, the 206 says 2 things John talks about every day, dying and nookie.
Pretty accurate. Yeah.
I do. I do.
Mike from Chehalis says, my 88-year-old grandfather danced with some lady at the senior center, went back to his seat, and died of a heart attack. My bucket list item.
That's nice. Ben from Mercer Island says, hey, John, if you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? I want to know. Keep up the good work, buddy. Cheers.
The real Tin Hat Jason said, should I contact the Muckleshoot Casino about a class action lawsuit for making the 3 to 7 show so awesome? P.S. Congratulate Teeny on making it up to the table on her own.
Tin Hat, he is. By the way, I enjoyed some of his beverage the other day.
Good.
Almost killed me, and then I just kept thinking about having nookie.
There you go.
Oh, there I did it again.
Yep.
There you are, Cameron. You're right. Joel in Snohomish says on Rise, rude fan, good manners doesn't cost a thing. Thank you, Mom.
Scott the Snot in Furcrest says, in regards to organ donation, I would personally like to offer my giblets to John if I die before him. His are most likely tucked away in his wife's purse. Just tell him Large Marge sent you.
Oh, really? And my giblets? Remember I offered Sherry my kidney? I said I'm going to do that because that's what you do. You're never going to get called out on it.
Yeah, and
then she revealed on the show that she's got like a withered kidney.
Yeah.
And she needs a kidney some point. If you're going to hold me to it. I said, no. When I offered you my organ, that's just something people do.
So you wouldn't have done it?
I mean, I would stall until maybe she passed.
Okay.
Isn't that the right thing to do?
Yeah, that's the right thing.
Okay, good.
Your turn.
Oh, it is. Ranked choice voting, 253 says, what if you only vote for one candidate? Well, then you're out if they don't move forward.
Barb in Auburn says, thank you, John, for talking about ranked choice voting. I completely believe that switching to this type of election system will reduce the divisive campaigning and help towards finding more moderate leaders who can actually get things done rather than just point fingers all the time. If you haven't already listened to these two podcasts, they're definitely worth your time. Freakonomics, American Duopoly, and Radio Lab's Tweak the Vote.
Okay, I will put that on the list. Fernando in Seattle says, I'm going to be the grumpy old man. What kind of cockamamie scheme is this anyway?
Brian in Arlington says got it all out. Brian in Arlington, the only vote I regret casting was for Kamala Harris. I don't like Donald Trump more than I don't like Kamala. That was stupid. I should have voted for who I thought was the best on the ballot, which is neither of them in my mind. I like this idea of ranked voting. She's right in that I typically vote for the guy I hate the least. Ranked voting would help a lot with that. Get some Mark Mullet types in there.
Yeah.
I'm taking John's advice and voting my heart because the state is going to vote blue regardless.
Oh, well, good. All right. Thank you for that, Brian. Teeny?
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Off the floor, onto the table with the letter of the day.
Comes to us from the new Old Man John. He says, this guy dies during sex and instantly goes from looking at his wife in the eyes to staring in the eyes of St. Peter. Sheesh, talk about a shrinky-dink.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
Didn't write no more.
Didn't write no more.
She left.
You always wonder, like, does God, can he see you doing all that stuff?
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. All right, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nate,
God sees everything. Everett to Marysville, a 25-minute trip. We're heavy from 526 and 528. It's starting to thin out, but boy, this has been a stubborn backup with us all afternoon. Northbound 529, however, has cleared out if you want to detour that route. Seattle to Everett, 50 minutes. Scattered backups remain from Northgate up into Mill Creek. Bellevue to Everett, 45 minutes. We're slow between Bellevue and Kirkland, and then you'll thin out through Totem Lake. Everett to Seattle, down to an hour 5. It's about 55 minutes just from Linwood, and it's jam-packed from Northgate to I-90. Southbound 99, bumper to bumper from North 46th down to the stadiums. Northbound 99, we're packed between the stadiums and South Lake Union. North 5, still heavy from the West Seattle Bridge now up to the Ship Canal Bridge. And Bellevue to Renton on 405, still hanging on at 50 minutes because we're still jam-packed from 520 all the way to the VMAC. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
A wildfire disaster unfolding just east of us.
The Spokane fires
destroyed hundreds of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Unprecedented stories of loss, devastation, and heartbreak.
It was a beautiful home. It really was.
And there was a lot of terror because it's loud, it's hot.
Join KIRO News Radio in doing whatever you can for our neighbors in Spokane. See how you can help at mynorthwest.com.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Voitin from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when aging is part of everyday life. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic was created to help people with overall wellness and longevity, including diabetes management, heart health, weight management, inflammation reduction, nutrition, cognitive health, hormone therapy, and more. I can tell you from personal experience being a patient for 17 years, I have a richer, fuller life, and I'm better able to pursue my own happiness. As America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself the chance to reclaim yours. Independence from aging. Take control of your health before small issues become big problems. Experience a smarter, proactive approach to aging, backed by decades of experience with longevity. Do what I did and feel like yourself again. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out how at lmclinic.com.
Hey, I know something you probably haven't done in a while. Climb into your crawl space or your attic. Yeah, me neither. Mike Salk here. And most homeowners avoid those areas because for good reason, but it's important to check on them regularly, especially here in the Northwest where groundwater can wreak havoc and many homes lack the proper insulation in these spaces. So when it's hot in the summer, your house gets even hotter. And guess what? When it's cold in the winter, your house gets even colder because you don't have enough insulation. The good news, you don't have to crawl into those dingy areas because Crawl Pros will do it. They go where you don't want to. That's what they did at my house. They found a little rodent intrusion and they found the insulation problem. So yeah, they can help you get it all fixed just like they did with me. And if you need any work done, local utility companies offer rebates that could save you thousands on your project. Don't just assume that your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. Naturalists from Puget Sound Express tell us that last week whales and wildlife were simply everywhere in the Salish Sea. Humpbacks breached and fluked from Hind Bank to Possession Bar. Biggs orcas hunted through Rosario Strait and Deception Pass, and gray whales fed in the shallows of Saratoga Passage. Minke whales cut across the Strait of Juan de Fuca. A sea otter munched breakfast at Turn Island. Tufted puffins motored around Smith Island, and more than 40 white pelicans gathered on Minor Island. Wow! Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Tours also depart from Port Townsend and Port Angeles. Orcas, humpbacks, minke whales, and so much more. Don't miss out on your chance to see whales in the wild. Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at Puget